You're about to listen to TADPOG, Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinct pleasure of the management to present to you the evening star attraction. Here they are, back after their exclusive 3-year tour of Europe, Scandinavia, and the subcontinent. Won't you welcome from Calumet City, Illinois, the show band of Jolie and Jake and Elwood Blues. The Blues Brothers.
Tyler, take it away.
Hello, Internet.
Hello.
And welcome to another Tyler and Dave Play Old Games. This week, we are talking about an SNL skit from the 70s, made into a movie in the 80s, made into a Super Nintendo game in the 90s, The Blues Brothers.
Yes, the Blues Brothers. Yes. Cuban B.
But before we dive into both the movie and the game, what you guys been up to?
Not working.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All
Sadly.
three of us.
I know.
Sadly, that comes to an end.
Dude.
Sooner than later, and
I've been
I'm
thinking
sad.
about you a lot
I
because
know.
yesterday,
I've been in hell today.
I was like,
fine.
I was not me. Yeah, yesterday
Did
was
I
like,
fucking
fuck,
ruin that
man.
shit
we're
for
like,
you?
We're like halfway through
God
it.
damn it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was okay. I've had a lot going on this week just at home, just shit we've been doing and hanging out. Yeah, I lost track of the time, and then we didn't record last night. No, we're recording on a different night than normal because of something I'm sure Tyler will mention in his segment. But yeah, I realized today that it was Friday, and I was like, no.
Yeah, it's not fair.
Sadness
For the weekend to
falls
start.
across
Yeah.
the land. So yeah, I don't want to go back to work. I want to just keep getting paid, but I don't want to go back to work. If y'all could tell me how to work that out, I would be real grateful.
I often think, how much do I need? You know?
Oh, I need exactly as much as I'm making. According to my spending habits, I need exactly as much as I'm making.
But that's what I mean. Like if I were to adjust spending, like how hobo could I get by and like keep the house and
If it were just me, it would be different. But yeah, I need exactly as much as I make and then some. Aside from mourning the loss of my 9-day vacation from work, I've been watching some stuff on TV. I haven't watched any anime yet. I'm still anime I not. What was it? What did you say? What did you call it? Anna won't I?
Anime I not?
Anna won't. I don't know. I've just not been in the mood. I tried getting back into one, and I was not in the mood yet. So I decided to watch a show on Netflix called Rebel Moon. It's actually a new show. It's a movie actually. It's like a 2-part movie called Rebel Moon. Just space stuff. It's fun. I liked it. I won't say it was fresh. It reminded me of like a glitzier Andor. Same concept kind of thing. Rebels, evil empire. The heavy in it is the guy that played Francis in Deadpool.
Okay.
So Francis gonna Francis. That continues in this. So I recommend it. It's about a 2-hour gig. Worth the watch. 3 stars. Was in Sage says check it out. My next thing I've been watching is Jack Reacher. They were talking about Jack Reacher on the Discord, and I don't care who it was, and I'm not going to try to remember who it was that was talking about liking Jack Reacher, but I took whoever you are, I took your advice to heart, and I'm really enjoying it. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's been really good. It's like it's like it's almost like Justified, only not in the. I mean, it does take place in the South, but it's not like a cop. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's a good episodic show that I've really been getting into. I'm only about 4 or 5 episodes into season 1 of that.
That's Jack Reacher, who is John Krasinski, plays another Jack on Amazon.
Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan. Okay.
Which is based on like the Jack Ryan from Hunt from Red October and the Tom Clancy Jack Ryan. It's like a young Jack Ryan, but it's more of a reboot. I watched the first season of that as well, and I liked it okay. It's just I'm kind of over John Krasinski. Quiet Place sucked, and I don't care who knows it. Who knows that I feel that way? I didn't like it. I didn't like the second one even more, and I don't know. Something about Mr. J.K. doesn't sit with me anymore. I loved him in The Office, and after that, it was just not the same.
What about as
Reed Richards?
Yeah.
No, I hated him as Reed Richards. I absolutely hated him as Reed Richards. I thought that was. I may have said on the show before that I thought it was funny and cool.
Yeah.
After having slept on it, I didn't think that at all, and I wish they had picked someone else. I don't dislike the guy. I don't know. I don't like his work. I guess I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. But no, not as Reed Richards either. He's got his hands in a lot of things. Now he may. I'm not saying he won't come out with something that I like eventually, but so far he's batting like 1 for 4 with me.
He hasn't really been in a bunch of stuff that I want to check out.
Yeah.
So I haven't really seen anything he's in other than The Office or Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Which I liked him as Reed Richards. I thought it was funny. Because
I mean, it was kind of an obvious choice, I guess.
Yeah. But
I just didn't. I don't know. Chris Pine. Let's do Chris Pine as Reed Richards.
I can see that totally.
What about is Pedro? Is that official? Pedro Pascal as Reed
As
Richards.
I would take.
I hadn't heard that.
I would take that. I like Pedro. I've seen everything I've ever seen him in. I've liked, contrary to my John Krasinski problem.
It's the
I don't
opposite.
have
The anti-John Krasinski. Pedro
He's
Pascal.
the anti-John Krasinski. For me, John Krasinski listens to this show. I know he does, and I don't want him to take it personally. It's not about him. It's just some of the things, the stuff he's doing, I'm just not into. So, anyway.
Well, who's that kid that played Murray State that my daughters were all excited to go see?
What now?
That was
Beans above the frame?
That's Jack Harlow.
Oh.
And then that 4-year-old that ran around my house. Oh, that's Jack Holland.
That's Jack Holland.
It's a lot
of Jack.
A lot of Jack.
Jack is the standard name for
Robin
white
Williams, that
dudes.
character who looked 40 when he was 11
Jack's
years
disease.
old.
Jack.
Disease. Who was Ben Stiller played that part in that was the movie in Tropic Thunder. Oh, Simple Jack.
Oh, Simple Jack.
One's a golfer, the other's a movie star. Never can remember which is which.
Jack
Nicholas
Nicholas and Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholas and Jack Nicholson was the Joker, and that's the only thing I think he's ever really done.
Yeah,
was
that
play
and Wolf.
the Oh yeah.
It's like what that Happy Birthday to Tim Curry, known most for his work in season 5 of Roseanne, where he's sitting beside Dan at the dinner table.
I think Anthony Hopkins voices a robot in that movie Rebel Moon I told you about. If it's not him, it's someone that sounds exactly like him, and I forgot to look it up. But he has kind of a bit part in a movie.
Yeah.
Which is weird. You get Hannibal to be in your movie for about 4 minutes.
Hey, can you pretend to be a robot?
As the voice of a robot. I think it's him. It's probably not, and everybody's going to call me out and call me stupid on it, but whatever.
If Brad Pitt could be the invisible guy from Deadpool.
That was amazing.
Yeah,
that was his best work, actually.
It was pretty damn good.
It was pretty good.
paid a cup of coffee for
I
that
love
role.
that he did that.
Me
I
too.
love Brad Pitt, and I love that he was in Deadpool 2 as the Invisible Man. It was brilliant. My last thing that I watched this week was my big shocker surprise hit of the week for me that I didn't think was going to be any good. In fact, I was certain it was going to be not good, and I was wrong. I tell you, Tyler, I was wrong.
Wrong.
Twisted Metal
Oh yeah.
on Peacock surprised the shit out of
Cool,
me
man.
as how good it was.
I'm glad to hear that because I have heard nothing about it.
Oh, by the
I haven't
way-
heard good or bad
This is
about
the
it.
first I've ever heard about
Oh,
it.
really?
By
Yeah.
the way, Jack Reacher, I give 3 stars. It wasn't say, says check it out. But Twisted Metal, so Anthony Mackie is in it,
Okay.
a.k.a. the new Captain America.
Right.
Will Arnett, a.k.a. host of Lego
Oh, I didn't know
Masters,
that.
is the voice of Sweet Tooth.
I love Will Arnett.
Yeah.
You know who Sweet Tooth is, right?
That's good.
Yeah, the
That's
clown.
good. I like
Yeah.
that.
He's not the body of Sweet Tooth, but he is the voice of Sweet Tooth.
And the voice of Lego Batman.
And the voice of Lego Batman as well, and the voice of GMC truck commercials and Reese's
Yeah.
cups.
Reese's is very obvious. I remember the first time I saw one of those commercials.
He's getting a lot of voiceover work,
Yeah,
that guy,
that's
because he's
good.
got a really nice voice. Also, his
Who'd he play in 30 Rock?
his appearance.
Oh, the
I can't
gay,
remember
the
his
gay
name.
version of
Right.
Jack.
I can't
Another
remember his
Jack.
name. Yeah, Jack Donaghy. Jack Donaghy.
Donna Gay.
Perfect.
See
Because
it.
he's gay, you get it.
Chef's
See.
kiss.
He was also in a really good episode of Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend.
Yeah.
His
I
episode
think you
is
told me about
is
that one.
fun.
One
But
day I
anyway,
listened
The
to
show he was in
podcast.
Christina Applegate with Christina Applegate in that was really good. It was basically Maya Rudolph was essentially Oprah, and Christina Applegate was like her assistant, married to Will Arnett.
Wow. Yeah, I don't
One or
think I
two seasons. It
knew
was
about
really
this one.
good.
I don't know
I
about
hated to see it
one.
get canceled.
When was it?
It had to be 6 or 7 years ago.
what's it called?
Cannot remember what it's
Oh.
called. I will.
Weird name for a show.
Yeah,
It's a weird name.
I don't know why I didn't catch
That's
on.
probably
could
why it
work,
got,
though. It
that's
could
probably
work.
why it got canceled, because nobody could remember the name of it. Nev Campbell is in Twisted Metal.
Up all night.
Wow.
Up all night.
Up
Okay.
all
Up all night.
Yeah, my emphasis is wrong.
Rhonda, what was it?
Gilbert
Rhonda
Gottfried.
Shear.
Rhonda Shear.
Rhonda Shear. Up all night. Up all night. Twisted Metal, based on the PlayStation game called Twisted Metal. I didn't think this was going to play out and be any good, and I was wrong. I really,
man.
really fucking liked it. And it was only it was 10 episodes. I say only because they're like, 20 some odd minutes long a piece without the commercials. And fuck, I don't know how to really if you know anything about Twisted, I'd never even played the game. I've never owned a PlayStation, so I never played this game. But I knew about it, and I mean,
Sure.
I'm a car guy. I like cars and car racing games and stuff. And I thought I really just watched it as a joke to myself, like, yeah, let's watch Twisted Metal. Big sleeper hit for me.
Cool.
4 stars. Was
Damn.
it says check it out? I mean it. I really want y'all to check it out because it's fun. It's Anthony Mackie is great in it. It's a comedy, obviously. It's a kind of an action comedy sort of thing, and the whole. I mean, I don't want to give anything away because there's some stuff that gives stuff away if I say it,
Right.
and it's like important, and I don't
Like,
want to do that.
It takes place in the Cars universe. That would be a thing you
That
wouldn't
would
wanna
be a
say,
thing I
'cause
wouldn't
it's a
want to
spoiler.
say, but I'm definitely not. No, it's not in the Cars universe. I can at least say that much. But it's not it's not that it's like
between Cars 2 and Cars 3.
it does. It's the transitional movie between Cars 2 and Cars 3.
You must watch it to understand Cars 3.
To really get Cars 3, you need to watch Twisted Metal.
Of course. They should have marketed that
They
way.
explain why there's no people in the Cars movies in this thing. in
And now
Twisted
cars are
Metal.
gendered in the Cars univerch, which
They explain that
Okay,
too
all right.
in Twisted Metal.
the cars fuck in Twisted Metal.
This is the one where Lightning McQueen this is how he dies.
Oh, okay.
So,
Spoilers. I've never seen a Cars movie.
no, he doesn't die.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if he dies.
No, that's okay. It'd be fine. I'd be like, all right, fine, he dies.
Maybe he fucking dies.
He's in
I
the
don't
first
know.
5 minutes, though, right? So then,
Off screen.
But you know what I feel like. Lightning McQueen probably said as he was dying.
What?
Wow.
I hope Cars 3 opened. The opening line in Cars 3, I hope it's like, wow, it's weird that Lightning McQueen died anyway.
Yeah, just not have him in it, and that was the whole. But see, if you had watched
they really
Twisted
twisted
Metal,
his metal.
Right.
you really did twist his metal. If you'd watched Twisted Metal, you'd know how
I
Lightning
know.
McQueen dies.
Out of the loop.
Okay, I just want to clarify that Twisted Metal has nothing to do with the Cars universe, really.
Boo.
But I do recommend it. It's funny. It's got good action. It's got a really interesting story. And I don't know if I'm overhyping it because I expected it to be bad, but I didn't think it was bad at all. And I'm going to be very excited if somebody will watch it and tell me they loved it or hated it. I just want to know if I'm alone in the Cars universe on that feeling.
So 4 stars, not bad at all.
4 stars was in Sage. I don't give a shit.
Man,
Check it out or don't. I don't fucking care.
4 stars at your life.
Twisted Metal 2. Oh man, I love that. I love the shit out of that game.
I never played these games. Now, is there a story here? Or
I don't know.
Is this like
I don't
you just
know, man.
crash shit or?
I don't know. We just
I
played
read
co-op.
that instruction booklet a lot on Josh's toilet because he played it a lot. So,
So you
yeah,
know exactly how to play
each
it.
character, because basically the people who compete in this tournament, something horrible has happened to almost every one of them, and whoever wins the tournament gets a
Uncursed.
wish.
Yeah.
So it's all their backstories and why they want to get everything
Okay,
undone.
I can. Since you said that, what I can tell you is the whole first season leads up to the moment in which that is stated.
Okay.
So they haven't even done the race or whatever it is. It's all backstory, but it's one character, and it's Anthony Mackie plays the prime character.
Is
the
he
dude
guy who
that
gets
was
his-
in.
Gets
Axel.
his, yeah.
His
Gets his arms and legs.
Are axles.
No, he goes by John Doe in this because he doesn't know his name. He was in he had an accident and forgot. He's lost his memory, and he's a milkman, which is a delivery guy between cities. He like takes stuff from settlement to settlement, and there's shit in between the settlements, like pirates and bad things, mostly bad things. And the milkmen have the most dangerous job in the world, but they do it because it pays well, and they, open road, yada yada yada.
Listen to all the audiobooks they went to.
The supporting cast is amazing. I liked it. So yeah,
Cool.
4 stars. Give it a watch. It's on Peacock. That's I think that's it. I don't think I left anything out. So I'm done talking about myself.
Twisted
Dave?
Metal 2, man. That's one of the games when I was in high school. Sophomore, we went to Washington, D.C. and as a class.
Uh-huh.
And I brought my dad's laptop, put Diablo on there.
Yes,
played it,
yes. I
like,
remember you saying you just didn't
And
do
then-
anything but play that game.
Pretty much, yeah. And then like Colonial Williamsburg, we're visiting Colonial Williamsburg, and I'm like unable to stay alive because I'm tired and
From
Colonial Williamsburg's
being up all
boring.
night
Yeah.
playing Diablo.
But someone else in our room, they really should have like figured the rooms out better because they just let us choose. And it's like, okay, the 4 people who love to play video games and brought video games, they're totally gonna sleep and it's gonna be fine. So one of my friends brought a PlayStation in Twisted Metal 2, and
You mean the thing that's on your shirt right now?
oh yeah, the PlayStation. We did, we did 4-player Twisted Metal 2 until they couldn't stay up
shit,
anymore, and
that's
then it
cool.
was Diablo time.
Yeah.
Lightweights.
Yeah. They were smarter than me.
Responsible fucking lightweights.
They're all doctors now.
They,
Two of them are. Half of the room now doctors.
those are the guys that figured out how to keep getting paid
Right.
without having to do any work.
Yeah.
And they're not going to let us in on it
Right.
because they're like, well, you should have gone to bed sooner.
Right. Yeah, other half of the room, definitely.
Was it Diablo
not
worth
doctors.
it? I don't think so.
It was pretty good. It was better than Colonial Williamsburg, like for sure.
Oh, I bet. I
Ask
bet the
any
people of Colonial Williamsburg would have killed
Right.
for the chance to play a video game like Diablo.
What you, Dave?
Not much. Christmas happened, and that was cool. My sister and my brother-in-law came in.
Speaking of Christmas,
An envelope.
an envelope from Ian and I to you.
Oh shit!
I still owe Tyler money for this, so technically it's just from Tyler until I can
And
get
that's
him the
not
money.
quite complete.
Okay.
It'll be complete next
it's a
week. I didn't
partial-
wanna wait.
Yo, this feels like a game.
It's not. It's definitely not
This also feels like a game.
2 games.
Is it definitely not 2 Sylvester Stallone video games?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
I'm starting to think that it might be.
I haven't seen it.
Since part 3 is
Okay.
got shipping delay.
Cannot
Boy, I know
confirm or
that. I know shipping
deny.
delays. I was telling Ian before we started recording that I've been waiting on one final piece for my Secret Santa to ship out, for me to ship out to them. Everything else came in before Christmas. And then one thing I bought on eBay, and the date kept getting
I hate
moved
that
back. And it's
shit.
like, oh my
I
God.
hate it. I hate it.
Let's see, we got here Judge Dredd.
Judge Dredd.
Super Nintendo.
I did know. I did know. I knew the whole time.
A motherfucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, boys.
There's a third part. Can you guess what it is?
Donkey Kong Country 3.
Correct. How'd you do that?
Thank you guys very much.
You're welcome.
That's very nice.
You
of
will be welcome from me when I finish paying off Tyler.
Well,
I had to like do this in installments. Tyler wasn't gonna give me credit. Really high interest installments. I might add.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Remind me to give you that money before I leave. I
all
forgot
right.
all about it.
Thank you guys. That's awesome.
You're
I can't
welcome.
Can't wait to post it on Reddit.
Why would you post it on Reddit? That you have it?
Yeah. Well, I can just say that the
Gilded
the best,
Sylvester Stallone
the
collection.
best trilogy on the Super Nintendo.
Prove me wrong.
I'll Photoshop my face on that guy's head.
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
At the table.
And then like Photoshop the cartridges on top of the table.
That's a good idea.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, Christmas happened, and my sister and my brother-in-law, they came in. I ran a first edition D&D one shot for them, which was a lot of fun. There's this
Tomb of Horrors.
no, I thought about Tomb of Horror.
What about Tomb of Horrors?
Well, I run that on weeknights.
It's like my second job. I actually run a place called Tomb of Horrors.
It's a mortuary, some people say.
It's where the Shoney's used to be out on Route 7.
Hey, I found this key outside. Give me $5. I'll let you touch whatever you want in here.
Some call me the Southside Paducah Robert Picton, but you know what?
I thought about running Tomb of Horrors, but that's too. I felt like it was too long. So I found this thing called. There's just like one sheet dungeon competition. I don't know if you've heard of it before. I hadn't, but it's like every year. There's this competition where it's like, here, send us your dungeons that you've created. Everything has to fit on one sheet. And they give a theme for each year. And like the theme for one of them, like this past year, was something like Arise or Arisen or something like that. And it's like, okay, so you just kind of like jam on that. And then they take
So
all
it's
the
Christian based, is what you're saying.
yeah, I knew as soon as that came out, I was like, because isn't there like there's like a play or something
Sure.
around here called like that's it.
That's where that lady had the heart attack.
Oh no.
So I mean, you know, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's they take all the entries and then they put them in a book or a PDF, and then they sell it for $1. And then I guess the ones from previous years were free because I bought that one and was like, oh, I can get 2022s and 2021s for like, I can get 3 of these books for $1. So yeah, okay. Some of them are absolutely like someone just sent something in, like where it's like Dungeon by Frank Willis. And then it's like a 2-sentence thing where it's like their idea for a dungeon that they never actually like did. And
2-sentence horror.
Right.
A
Only
TADPOG
2-sentence dungeons. Yes.
And then like some of them are like, but that's like rare. But it's funny that they still include it because like a submission's a submission. And then, but some of them are really
It fits
good.
on one sheet.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Easily.
it fits all the
Show me
rules.
where I broke the rules. Show me where a dog can't play basketball.
Right. This is my dungeon, and this is how it fits the theme. So I ran one of those, and it was cool. It was like a dwarven mine that had been abandoned because a subsect of the clan had like found a way to summon like a creature. And the creature feeds on the blood of anything living. And then so they discovered, oh, no, that's bad. And then they started like detonating dynamite in certain areas of the mine to like block it off, you know? And then rumors get out that, hey, these dwarves were mining some like precious minerals and stones, and there's probably going to be some down there. Mithril. And so, yeah, that's how you get the group there. And then they like Mummy's Tomb style, like, yeah, now the thing's out. Which was great because I love running like horror games. And that's like, my sister was freaking out because instead of in first edition D&D, like every turn you check for like random encounters. And there is no random encounter table in this dungeon. It's always the creature. And they can kill it, but it comes back, and that's where the arise comes in. So, like, the first time they killed it, and, like, it was great because, like, it was a really close fight.
Oh no!
And yeah,
does it come back more powerful or just at equal strength as it was when it died?
Equal strength, but depending on where they are in the mine, it's more
Oh.
likely to appear.
Oh.
So it's like as they get closer to where it has been summoned,
That's
there's like a
fun.
50% chance that it's gonna show up.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was cool. So it's like it's hunting them essentially the whole time. And yeah, the first time it reappeared was amazing because it's like they had burned it to death the first time. So I got to like do this whole scene where like they're in the cavern and then all of a sudden they like notice that there's like this burning shadow like smoldering, and at first they were like, another one of these things, and then they were like, oh shit, it's the same one.
All right.
So yeah, it was fun.
That
They
is
made
cool.
it.
I like that a
yeah,
lot.
they got through it.
Nice.
Um,
Now, did they roll brand new characters at a certain level to go in, or
yeah,
is it, okay,
yeah, it was all first level stuff.
Okay.
So I fudged a little bit, and I gave them 2 potions of healing because they needed
It's
it.
I
first
mean, you
edition.
got to throw a dog a bone from time to time. It's no
Yeah.
fun if you just die.
Yeah, they needed it, and that wasn't written in the dungeon, but they did something that was cool, and it was like, all right,
Would
that's
it-
reward I'd like for you guys to not die.
Would it have fit? Would it have fit on one page for you to write? Also, they get 2 healing
Yes.
potions. Then it's fine.
Yes. It's canon. yeah, it was fun. And then like Henry got a drone for Christmas, so we went out to the park and like flew that for a bit. He was, man, real protective of the drone. That's how you know that he fucking loves it. Because like every time it would land, he would like rush over and like check it.
I
And be
had
like,
a
it's getting
little-
hot, Dad. It's
yeah.
getting hot.
I had a little drone once, just a little. It wasn't anything impressive, but it was fun, and I was the same way. It fit in the palm of my hand.
Yeah, this is.
and
yeah.
I thought it was a precious, wonderful baby. I wanted to care for it, and then I realized I don't want a drone. After I had it, I had it for like a week and didn't touch it. I
Yeah.
was like, I could still return this, but drones are cool.
Yeah, he likes it, and that's all that matters. I mean, it was fun hanging out with him,
Yeah.
but while I was there, I was like, this is definitely a him thing and not a me thing, because we were out there for like an hour and a half, and it's like, this is great. I'm glad he's having a good time, but I'm cold, and all this drone does is fly. Isn't that fucked up? That it's like all it does is fly.
All it does is spit in the face of God.
I might as well be at fucking Colonial Williamsburg. Well, it goes up, it goes around.
I watched this dad flip. Yep. it can still do that. Same as it could 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I always liked watching. Have you ever watched those drone racers?
No.
Fuck. They got these guys. Of course, you know, for every little hobby, there's hardcore sport. Drone racing is a thing, and these are the guys that buy these fucking, you know, $5,000 drones and trick them out so they can go super fast, and they build these unbelievably intricate like courses, usually in like abandoned, hollowed out buildings or something, you know, and they'll race them. And they got to go through this, and it'll be like these loop-de-loops and all this kind of shit. And they'll show you the race from the fucking perspective of the drone, obviously. And holy shit, it's really fucking neat. I could never do it, nor could I ever afford it. I wouldn't, you know, as soon as I invested in it, it would crash, and I would be like, well, that's money wasted.
Glad I got that insurance through Amazon, which I did.
Nice. Nice.
I was like, $10, and if this fucking thing crashes and burns, they're going to send me a new one. Yeah. I mean, I trust my 9-year-old. However, he is 9 years old.
And he might figure out drone racing at some point. But yeah, that's a lot of fun to watch, but it's an expensive hobby. These guys are racing with VR goggles on.
Holy shit.
So they're flying these drones.
They're like Ed and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. They're really piloting these from the perspective of the camera on the front of the drone, and it's insane. I would throw up. It's hard enough to watch it. But to know that you're in control of this thing, that's just, and then they'll pan out and have a wide shot of the track, and you just see these fucking little dots of light going all around it's nuts. So that kind of droning would be fun.
That sounds cool.
But again, that's a bit of an investment. If you might want to know somebody to teach you some stuff.
Outside of Henry's enjoyment, the extent of the excitement essentially is someone will walk by and point at it.
Yeah.
Is that a drone? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Cool. Well, back to the Greenway Trail.
All I can say is that if Henry ever finds himself climbing up a 1,000-foot radio tower, and then the ladder rusts away and he gets stuck on top of the tower.
Like the movie.
Like Fall, make sure before he climbs that ladder that his drone's battery is fully charged so he can send for help.
It would be his particular drone, the model that he has, it would fly
about 100 feet and then
fall
just drop.
to a dead drop.
Do you control it with your phone?
No, it's got
its own transmitter. Oh, that's good.
You can it's got a camera on it, and you can stream the camera to your phone.
Okay.
And put that. But yeah, the range isn't horrible, but it's also definitely not 1,000 feet.
Not like flying to a truck stop half a mile away to send help.
Definitely
a message for help.
No, could not do that. Although I didn't say this, but of course I'm thinking it. I'm like, how far? Wouldn't it be fun just to fly this thing just straight up? Just like go to the limit.
Usually what they do is if they get out of range of the transmitter, they're pre-programmed to come back to where they started, so that you don't have the possibility of it, dying. Or if it's got X amount % of battery, it'll come back so that it doesn't crash. I crashed mine a lot. Even with all that in place, it still crashes. The wind and everything is a factor.
Yeah, that wind sucks. We didn't have any major crashes, mainly because it's Henry's pet.
Sure.
And it was like, that thing didn't go, like, seriously, more than maybe 15 feet in the air. Like you would get nervous if it got any higher than that. It's like, I'm pretty sure it could go higher, buddy.
No.
Nope. But, it is what it is.
Very cool.
Been playing Final Fantasy 14. I'm through the Shadowbringers main MSQ. So the main storyline's done. Just going through the patch stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it's I'm almost through that. Then it's
Still amazing.
Man, Shadowbringers is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me wish that it's possible to just play Shadowbringers, but you have to like pay Square Enix money to like skip through other content. But it's one of those where it's like I do wish it was kind of like a standalone thing that people could just play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to going through, the huge main game and then 2 expansions before it. Which the expansion before it I thought was good. But Shadowbringers is a really fucking good expansion.
Cool.
And then just the Wolves of the Kala.
How's that going?
Oh, that
It
reminds me.
slowed it down because I've been on vacation. You'd think it would speed it up, but I've been home with Henry all week.
I haven't listened hardly at all.
So it's one of those where it's like, I don't want him to hear about some witch's pussy, so I usually don't play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait,
right now,
why?
I'm drawing in the 3 where he's talking about Detta's cut and the plate. And
Yeah. And it's like,
I was
son,
just like, oh, okay.
you got to
Yep,
learn this sometime,
I
son.
remember that now.
Here's your witch pussy lesson for the day.
Which pussy lesson? Steam name. I brought something for y'all to look at. I cannot let you have these, but you can look at them.
They're books.
The first volume of Stephen King's The Dark Tower, A Concordance.
Hey, nice.
I have that somewhere.
It's just reference.
Yeah, I heard about
of
this.
all you want to look up a character or a place, and it tells you where it was mentioned in the books and what it is. The volume 2, I lost mine, so we ordered a new copy of volume 2. But there's that if you want to look. And I also have the Marvel graphic novel adaptation of
Hell yeah.
The Dark
Hell yeah.
Tower, The Gunslinger Born, which basically tells some of the story that takes place in Wizard and Glass. Written by one of the people that helped write this and make sure it was canonical was the woman that wrote the Concordance books.
Yeah, I've heard the name Robin Firth come up quite a bit in the wiki.
Yeah.
I've been trying to it's been tough. I feel like I haven't spoiled anything for myself, but there are things that have come up where it's like, shit, is this a thing that was mentioned and I just forgot about it? And it's like, I'll look and I'll be like, do I look? Do I look? And then like Robin Firth comes up, the name Robin Firth.
Well, you're
comes up.
safe looking through that all you want because that only covers through Wizard and Glass. Cool. And then I found that I have apparently my hard copy of Wolves of the Kala is gone. I don't know what happened to it. And my copy of The Wastelands is gone. I don't know what happened to it either. So I'm missing 2 of the 7 books from my physical copy collection, but it's okay. But yeah, I thought you'd like to see that.
Yeah,
that was kind of neat.
That's rad.
And then the graphic novel is Tyler's perusing that right now.
Yeah, I've been curious about the comics. I may check those out once I'm through
They seem
with the books.
a little bit. I don't remember reading it. I think I got it as a collector and I never thought to just sit down and read it. So I'm not 100% sure what all it covers or how it deals with what it covers, but I thought it was neat. Tanya found it today and showed it to me. So.
I think they've done a few. I think they've done a few arcs in the comic.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
So I have this one came out in 7 parts, and then it came out in a hardcover graphic novel, which is what that is. I have 1 and 2 of the 7-part edition in comic book form.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't bring those. But it's pretty slick.
Yeah, that's cool.
That art and the maps. I like the maps in the back of everything.
maps.
Yeah. Yeah, and this one's got like all the drawings from. This one's neat too, Dave, because the concordance is really cool because there in the books themselves. I know you're listening to the audio books like we are. There are drawings and stuff in the books.
Shit.
Like it shows Blaine's route map and it shows a picture of Eddie's key.
Oh, wow.
And all that stuff.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
The pictures are in this book as well at some point, so you can like look it up and see.
I got to look at his key. I got to see this curl that he was talking about. His curve.
Let me make sure. Wait, I'll have to see if I can find it. I said that it's in here, and now I'm saying maybe it is.
Promise I didn't request that just to put you on the spot.
No, it's all good.
Because he was obsessing over that, over that curve in the key, and it's like, well, what's it look like? I kind of see it in my mind. I'm thinking, like, is that what it's really like?
I mean, there's a whole
Some
thing in
girls
here.
like a curve in the key. It's fine. Don't obsess over it.
I mean, that's what I hear.
There's a whole thing in here about Tom and Jerry's Artistic Deli.
Nice.
All right, so
That's awesome.
I mean, the key has got to be in here. Here's the definition of quartet and kef. But anyway,
I'll get back on it. I've listened to probably this week. I've probably only listened to about an hour of it, and it's just been it's tough.
I haven't
listened to hardly any this week either because I usually just listen to it in the car, but I haven't been in the car much. So, by the way, for any of you all that are playing Power Wash Simulator,
Artsy AJ is like crazy. She loves it.
Does she?
Yes. Oh my God.
There is a Back to the Future DLC now.
Oh, sweet.
So you get the DeLorean and the Doc Brown's van, the time train, and the Hill Valley Clock Tower.
Oh, nice.
To clean. And Hill Valley Clock Tower is a bitch.
I bet.
It's a bitch because you get to go.
Manure
You got to
all
go
over the place.
inside too. Here's a reference to Clint Eastwood. I'll find it. I know there's a picture of it in here, but I don't know what to look at. I don't know what to look for. So, anyway,
Cool, man. I think they're awesome. Thanks for bringing them.
You're welcome, Tyler.
Melissa and I finished season 3 of Righteous Gemstones.
Yay!
Is that all there is?
Yeah. Season 4 is they're making it.
How happy did the monster truck scene make you?
That was really good.
With the Dolly Parton song.
All that shit was, Melissa was like, oh, yes, go Gideon. Fuck yes.
It was so good.
It was.
I'm glad you liked that show.
Man, Melissa and I both love it. So good. God, Baby Billy is the best part of that fucking show.
Walton Goggin is the fucking man.
Yep.
He is just nailing it right now.
And I love that I'll watch Fallout for him, so that's going to be fucking great too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I wasn't interested in it, but now if he's in it, I'm probably going to watch it.
And then my washing machine broke yesterday, so we're recording a day late because...
Inside your new washing machine.
Yeah. Don't you love
this is the new one?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. I
get
thought
the
we were in
full
the old
use.
one. Tyler, you need to get your money back.
So, yeah, apparently...
I'm going to make the whole episode have like an echo.
That was super annoying reverb.
Because we walked in, because we had because of Christmas, everything was just kind of thrown in there while we would clean and move. And then we noticed, I think Melissa walked in the laundry room to get potatoes out of the pantry. And she was like, why is it so wet? And it's just like, okay, yeah. It broke and flooded that room. Everything was everywhere. All the stuff that
Yeah, dude.
was under the washer, just shit that just gets under appliances when you
Yeah.
can't turn it into Samus into a ball and clean underneath it, just got, it was just fucking gross.
Yeah.
So we had to clear all that out. We went to the laundromat and did had to redo all our clothes at the laundromat, which is fucking creepy. I've learned that laundromats are creepy places.
When I was growing up, before my mom used to take me to the laundromat with her every Saturday because at the time we didn't have a washing machine, and I loved it. I would run around. I would get on top of the washers and then watch the water drain behind them, like how that whole system. I'd bring my toys and play and just whatever. And then there became an occasion for me to have to do laundry once in the not too distant past at the laundromat. And Tyler, it is creepy as fuck.
It's a
now.
different
We went like
experience.
during the day, like when
Yeah,
we think it would be creepy.
it is
and was fucking
weird.
creepy. Like a new one that Melissa was like, "Oh, there's one with like a pizza place attached to it, so we could do it, eat some pizza." I was like, "Great!" We get there, pizza place is closed.
Yeah, that was where
No reason
Rocket
why.
Fire originally was.
Yeah. You're right.
And it sucks that they moved because
Yep.
that was like a really good spot for like a random pizza place.
Because
I
like
loved it
now
when it was
they're
there.
over across from Mellow Mushroom. I saw
Yeah,
that.
which is like not a good move in my opinion.
We'll see- yeah.
But they've also got that location that's
Well,
out
I've-
by Chick-fil-A on
Yeah.
in West Paducah side.
I've been theorizing about that, and I think they're just there for the rollover, for the
Yeah.
Mellow Mushroom rollover, because it's always so packed.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? I'll take your cast offs.
runoff, yeah,
Come
yeah.
over here. We got a beer garden and plenty of room.
I think it's
and
better pizza than Mellow
decent
Mushroom
pizza.
anyway.
It is good pizza.
I think it's good pizza. I like Mellow Mushrooms pizza too, but Mellow Mushrooms kind of one of those where it's like I'm in the mood to have a fun pizza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and Rocket Fire does that too, where it's like,
like
you know,
like
I want
craft pizza.
all the spicy shit you have, put it on the pizza.
Yeah.
Is usually the one that I order. So
What was I saying?
you were talking about going to the laundromat.
Laundry. Okay, yeah. So at one point, Melissa got really creeped out. Let's just fucking go. So did that. Came home, mopped up, bleached everything, moved everything out, got that room sorted out. Went to try to buy another washer that night. The dryer is I don't have the best dryer anyway because my good dryer died years ago. And I just bought a cheap flip from somebody. We have to like keep something in front of the door to keep it closed so it runs like sort of like it'll make do until we get something else.
But
And then we just never went and got anything.
was
did
the
you
other
ever race
dryer really the good dryer? Because it died.
Well, that's true. Well, it died like it lasted like 25 years.
Oh, that is a good dryer.
It was the dryer that was here when I lived here when I was in third grade. Still that same dryer. Like, and it
Okay.
was rocking and rolling. And
Going
then
the
finally,
distance.
then it was just rocking.
how that yeah. So yeah, clean all that. Went to various Lowe's, trying to find like hopefully get something scratch and dent. You know, okay, cool. They don't have like any washer and dryers. They're in a badass fridge. Where I was like, I can't justify buying a fridge. But I
How
thought
about a
about
fridge
it.
instead?
Thought about it. It kills the bacteria. Just throw it in the
Yeah.
freezer.
Tyler, did you cool the clothes like I asked you to?
So the stuff we did find, like, okay, sure, we'll take this one. All right, it'll be here next week. It's like, do you have any in stock? No. How about this one? Let's see. No. How about this one? No. So
Yeah.
you don't carry any of this in the store. None of these. Nope. Sorry. None at Southside. None here. It's like, well, shit. If I have to order on the internet, why do you just have this section at all?
Yeah, we went through that too. It sucks.
Yeah.
But especially when you know what you want.
Yeah, because we found something with the good mix between price and options and things like that. And, you know, with all the kids, we need to have like a pretty big one.
Yeah, and you probably do laundry constantly.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Melissa's like, well, we'll look around more tomorrow. So I think she's in Murray right now. I think she found something. So
Cool. Man, I feel bad for you. Ours flooded at one point. We've actually had it happen twice, and it sucks. Our area is a little open,
Yeah.
so it's really easy to tell when it's done it. But cleaning it up still sucks. But yeah,
and I know I've got to rip up that carpet in my house. My carpet is awful because
Yeah.
it's Berber. Never put Berber carpet in a fucking house because once it gets dirty, you
Barbar?
can't clean it.
The
Barbar, the king, the elephant king.
yeah.
That's what the people who lived here were immaculately OCD clean people. So it was like everything was pristine. But like you get a kid in there who spills something on the carpet, and that carpet is so short and tightly wound. Like you put carpet cleaner on it, all it does is just make it wet, and it doesn't dry in time, and it just starts to smell. It's fucking awful. So I've got to rip all that up and put hardwood in sometime soon. But a lot of housing stuff on the horizon now.
That's exciting in
Because
its own way.
being a homeowner is just chock full of that kind of shit.
and I need to replace some subfloor because Jack loves dumping out water bottles and turning over things. Especially his favorite thing to turn over is Bella's water dish. So as soon as we put water in that, he's just like, "Oh shit, gotta turn that shit over." So
He's like a cat.
where he always turns it over. My floor sags in one spot,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have to tear up the carpet and replace that.
So he's like
subfloor.
fucking over both you and Bella.
Yeah.
Bella over there going, I really could use some water.
I guess I'll just lay in this soft spot.
Suck on the carpet. I got a drop.
Well, I mentioned last night about doing a draft, doing a Saturday Night Live skit draft since Blues Brothers originated on Saturday Night Live. You guys still down?
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I will roll. Dave, 2 numbers.
1 and 5.
1 and 5. Ian,
3 and 2.
3 and 2. 1.
All right. I'm prepared. I have a list.
I didn't make a list.
Because I was like,
I did the Dave thing this time. I didn't make a list.
I couldn't do the Dave thing because I was like, I'm gonna fucking choke. I'm gonna be the first to go. I'm gonna be like, and like name
Monologue.
4
The monologue.
Oh, the
4 Mad TV
monologue.
skits.
Yeah. I think I'll be all
Where
right.
he's Madden, the Madden. I'm gonna go with. So okay, what constitutes?
I think it has to be a singular skit.
So it can't.
Like Weekend Update is like a segment.
Okay.
Unless like I don't know, maybe
there are
particular Weekend
sketches
Update
within
with the host.
Because my first.
there are sketches within Weekend Update too,
That's
like
true, yeah.
recurring characters and stuff. So that I would think that would count.
How about Weekend Update as long as you specify the host
The
of
host.
Weekend Update?
Okay.
Because my first pick is Deep Thoughts
Yeah.
by Jack Handy.
Yeah,
that
that's
counts.
a reoccurring
And it's
skit.
like, is that
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
do I have to pick a specific
yeah.
one where it's like got these bags? or-
Yeah.
No, just like I say Matt Foley. It's a reoccurring skit, but it's
Gotcha.
a skit.
Okay. Yeah, that's my first pick. Deep
Nice.
Thoughts.
Jack Handy, very
Jack
good.
Handy.
If I
Surprised
tried
you
to
didn't
get
take
this,
mine.
I tried to get this. What was it? If trees could scream, would we be so cavalier about cutting them down? Maybe if they screamed all the time and for no apparent reason. It's my favorite Jack
I
Handy.
love that.
I still remember that
But
one.
If you ever
You're on
drop your
Fire
keys in lava, forget it. They're gone.
If you're ever on fire, don't look in a mirror. That'll really get you going.
Good pick.
Got
Good
these
pick.
sacks, man.
Yeah. So you were surprised I didn't get your pick. I have a feeling I know what it
Yep.
is. It's probably my number 2 here.
Yep.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Toots.
Yeah,
That was my
good.
number 2. That's what I thought.
Oh no!
I was hoping to get Toonses because like I said, I didn't make a list.
Now
so.
I'm curious if it's my number 3.
My number 1 is Massive Head Wound Harry.
Oh yes.
Fucking love the shit out of Massive Head Wound Harry.
And I'm not gonna know the names of some of these like official names.
I'll
I'm
get
just
you
gonna
there.
say it's the one with. You're up, Dave.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Nice.
Man.
Good pick.
Man.
I'll take the rapists for 300, Alex.
Dude.
It's therapists. The ones with Tom Hanks being stupid. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's so good.
I recently thought of Celebrity Jeopardy because I ordered something on eBay and the shop I think was called Therapy Dragon and it was printed on the label. And when I got it out of the mailbox, I was like, I didn't know. When I buy shit on eBay, I don't know the name of the store.
Right.
It's just like, I want that thing. It's on eBay. Buy. And then it gets here and I'm like, the Rapey Dragon? My mind, like, I mean, that's how it
Nikki,
was.
your thing came in.
Yeah, right. I saw something, thought of you.
Oh shit! That tickled my funny bone.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Nice.
Ian, number 2.
Wayne's World.
Excellent.
Party time. Party on, Wayne.
And party on, Garth.
Wayne's World. Wayne's World.
Party time. Excellent.
My number 2 will be slightly tangential to you, Dave.
Okay.
Black Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Specifically the one where Tom Hanks is the Trump supporter in Black Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That is a good one.
Yeah, it is good. Norm Macdonald is Burt Reynolds, man. I mean, like,
Oh my God, that's one of my favorites of his. He's so good at being Burt Reynolds. The mustache.
my number 3 will be the Chippendale audition.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley.
That's a classic,
It
man.
is
I fucking
classic.
love
It's
that
always going to be funny. Always.
And number 3.
Land Shark.
God, I've forgotten
Me
about
too.
Land Shark.
Land
Holy
Shark.
shit.
Land Shark.
Who is it?
Land Shark.
Girl Scout cookies. I didn't order any Girl Scout cookies. Pizza delivery.
Avon later.
Avon later.
God, I totally forgot about Land Shark. My number 3 will be Soaking Cork. I missed this when it debuted. I've seen it recently.
I don't
was like,
know this.
I don't know
Oh
this one
my
either.
God. So it's Janet Jackson is the guest host. It's the whole, it's the
Miss Jackson, if
Chris
you're
Parnell, Chris Parnell, Jimmy Fallon,
Yes,
Tina
good,
Polar
good
era.
cast.
So there it is. Chris Parnell and Janet Jackson are a married couple touring wine country. And they come into the cork room in the wine. And the guy's like, here is where
I've seen
we
this one,
all
yeah.
soak
Okay.
the cork.
Yeah, I've seen this one. I forgot about it, but
fuck.
I don't know.
I
I'll
love
have
a soaking cork so much. We all get together and soak the cork.
Oh. No, I want to. I'll watch that one. That sounds funny.
So the show notes will be like 30 SNL clips.
broken links.
Good. Yeah. YouTube's gotten pretty good. There's a whole
Yeah.
bunch on TikTok, but you can't like link very easily to those.
Yeah, the official SNL channel has added quite a bit.
Yeah.
It used to be like
Yeah.
nothing.
They were real militant about keeping that shit off of there. Like they had someone whose job it was to just be on YouTube all day and delete SNL skits because they were mad about it.
Conan.
It was. That's what you get.
Day number 4.
I'm gonna go with Colon Blow. Cereal commercial.
blowing you.
For some reason, I had a VHS tape of when I was little of all SNL's commercials, and Colin Blow was on there with Bill Hartman on top of the 1,000 cereal boxes.
You'd have to eat over 1 million
1
bowls.
million bowls. That's a good pick. God, I hadn't thought about Colon Blow in a while.
Great commercial.
My turn.
Yep.
Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood.
Yes.
Yep.
Hi, boys and girls. I love that shit. Eddie Murphy.
Hey, shut up!
I love that shit. Eddie Murphy remains to this day one of my favorite cast members of that show.
My number 4 will be Natalie Portman's rap.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that was good shit. That was good shit.
Busting dude's mouth like Gushers, motherfucker.
I want to fuck you too. Dave, number 5.
Delicious dish, sweaty ball.
God, I
Sweaty
knew
balls.
it. I knew you were gonna pick that one. They are fucking great.
Yeah. Man, I just had deja vu. That was weird.
We
I had it
watched-
real bad.
Oh, it's a glitch in the Matrix. We watched the Saturday Night Live Christmas special Saturday.
Yeah.
Where it was in prime time and they did all the funny Christmas ones over the years. They do it every year. And that, of course, Sweaty Balls was on there. And God, Baldwin just gets me.
I know.
I love that guy. He's so good.
Who does he not get his daughter, unfortunately?
Yeah.
Right.
God, where they roasted him and where she roasts him and it's just like her telling him to fuck off to an audience. So good.
My last one, it's a toss-up because I've still got quite a few more rolling around in my head. So we could go longer or we could do some honorable mentions, but this is one.
I can do 10 easily.
This is one that I hadn't seen before I watched the Christmas special this past week. It is Alec Baldwin as an elf regional manager, and he gives the speech from Glengarry Glen Ross to the elves in Santa's workshop. And at one point, he flips over a chalkboard, and it's got ABC, and on the chalkboard it says "Always be cobbling." But this dude is so in the zone. He says closing. He does it twice. And you see on his face after the fact he realizes what he's done, but he just keeps going, obviously. But because I love that scene in that movie. He got an Oscar nomination for that. I want to say he won.
I think he won for that.
For that. He was on screen in that movie for one scene, which was about 5 minutes long. If you haven't seen it, it's Glengarry Glen Ross. Watch that shit. Coffee is for Closers. I've got a poster of it that Dave made for me and John Turley, hanging on my office wall, and a small version of it hanging on my cubicle wall at work. And when I was team leader at my job, I was a team leader, and we had a meeting. We had weekly team meetings, and the whole thing was, I just really wanted our numbers to go up or tickets to be closed. And so I got my people in, and I said, I'm going to show you a clip from a movie. It's really cool. And I want you to just think about this and laugh when you think about your numbers and closing tickets. And so I showed him the thing about the scene from the movie of always be closing. Coffee is for closers. So that's my number 5 for the pick, because I laughed my ass off when I saw that. I was like, no, he's gonna do the thing. Do the thing, Bart.
My number 5 would be Diner Lobster, that John Mulaney wrote, where it's the musical about someone ordering lobster in a New York diner.
Okay.
Fuck. He wanted to do it when he was a writer, but no one would let him do it. So when he was a host, he came back, we're doing Diner Lobster.
John Mulaney episodes are always really, really, really good.
Yes.
The Headless Horseman. There's a John Mulaney one.
Oh.
Headless Horseman. That's really funny.
Do you put it in the pumpkin's mouth?
No. Is this 5, or are we honorable mentions? Or are we doing? What are we doing? I can do more.
I can do more. All right.
I could probably grab up a few more.
Squeeze out a couple more.
Yeah. just bear down real hard. I'll get it. I'll figure it out.
I'm gonna go with Dick in a Box.
Yeah.
Lonely Island.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, Brian and I quoted that a lot back in the day.
It's my dick in a box.
I believe it. That one blew up. Like, I mean, that
it
one was
really
like,
did.
that one
went
was,
viral.
Yeah.
To coin that's what the kids are saying these days,
Yep.
isn't it?
Yep.
It went
Sure
viral.
are.
With the cool fingers. Viral.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It went the viral.
It's busting all over the place.
I love it when Henry says busted. Like, because it's like, it's funny because he only does it when he's complimenting Nikki on something she's cooked.
Oh.
And mom, this broccoli is busted. We laughed and laughed, and he didn't understand why. And
It's okay.
it's fine.
Ian, number 6.
The Barry Gibb Talk Show. Talking it up on the Barry Gibb Talk Show. Talking about chest hair, crazy cool medallions. There was one where Barry Gibb showed up.
Oh, really?
And sang with them.
That's awesome.
And it was fucking awesome. Timberlake is one of my favorites on that show.
He's
When he
great,
comes
honestly,
in,
yeah.
God, he is naturally good at comedy. Among everything else, he's naturally good at. He's seriously a funny part of that show, and I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Barry Gibb Talk Show. Jimmy Fallon for the win.
Number 6, I'll follow up Diner Lobster with Bodega Man. another John Mulaney. Dave, number 7.
Harry Carey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cubs win.
Man.
Cubs win.
God damn.
Ian, number 7.
Hans und Franz.
There you go.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Did you hear you might not have heard it, but they, on Conan's podcast, they did a reading of the script for the Hans and Franz movie. That never
No, I
was.
did not hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So this was another Dana Carvey episode? Because there was, in the first season, they had him, and then between seasons, they had like 5 more of just Conan and Dana Carvey riffing for an hour.
This is they read the script.
That's
that,
awesome.
That Conan wrote, and they even when it's Schwarzenegger comes on, not on that episode, but it's like within like 2 or 3 episodes, and they bring it up.
Oh
and talk
man,
about it.
I've been listening to the book, so I haven't been
You're right. Yeah.
on my Conan, but I'm getting back to it soon. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that.
My number 7 is, I guess I'll just call it inspirational dance. It is where Will Forte is playing a coach to a bunch of kids, and he's trying to motivate them. And he's like, "I'll have a song." And then my team, we were in this exact same scenario 20 years ago, and they played this song, and it is what gave us the energy, the motivation to win. And he plays the song and dances to it, and it's fucking goddamn. I love Will Forte so much. It's so fucking
Will Forte
good.
is really funny.
Yes.
Because it's a ridiculous song, and all the kids are just sitting there looking at him shocked. And Will Forte just leans into it so hard. Dave, number 8.
Mr. Bill.
Mr.
Oh no!
Fuck, I forgot about Mr. Bill. Ian, number 8.
I don't know if I'm getting the name of the sketch right, but I think it's called the Californians.
Californians.
God, I fucking love that shit. And I can relate to that.
I've never seen them crack more than when they're
God,
doing
they
that.
do.
Yeah.
And I can relate to it because, the whole thing is they start just getting into how they got, how they took the 405 to the thing. No. The best way, my stepmom and her daughter are from L.A. Well, they're from Vegas, but they lived in L.A. for a while. And at one point, I overheard her on the phone with her daughter having a conversation almost, and she sounds like them too. She's got that West Coast accent, and it was fucking, that's all I could think of was the Californians. It's like, wow, that is so accurate. California. California.
For number 8, I'll claim Cowbell.
Yeah, that's a good,
good one.
More
that's a good
Cowbell.
one.
My
The
first
opening
exposure to Blue Oyster Cult.
Also, my first exposure to that song was the opening of the Stand TV miniseries by Stephen King. They do this long, drawn out scene of all these dead people playing with "Don't Fear the Reaper" playing in the background. It's fucking creepy as shit. It's the only really creepy thing about that whole miniseries.
Dave, number 9.
I really like the Gap Girls.
Yes.
Specifically the Tater Junction one where they're in the food court and they're talking, and Chris Farley says, "Lay off, I'm starving."
He grabs her by the throat.
I love that shit. I love the
That's
Gap Girls.
great.
There was going to be a movie apparently. But
I would have wanted to see that. Actually, that would have been a good one.
Ian, number 9.
Van Down by the River.
yes.
Matt Foley.
Matt Foley, yes.
God, I love it. Chris Farley, man.
know.
Shedding a little tear right now. I love Chris Farley.
My number 9 is an oddball one. It's fairly recent, but man, it hit me so hard and so well because it is the guy who plays Bilbo, Martin Freeman,
Martin Freeman.
at a dinner party, and he's sitting across from Leslie Jones, and the whole thing is a knockdown, drag out, murderous argument over Weezer.
I haven't seen this.
And like you see both their spouses while they're arguing put their head in their hands, and the wife. I bet you're one of those people that only thinks Blue and Pinkerton are fucking gold, and you hate everything else. You're goddamn right, I do. It is garbage. Pork and beans is the best thing they've ever made. Fuck you. It was. Oh my god, it was so good. Because Leslie Jones, she gets in his face.
I've heard people. I think Leslie Jones is really funny. I know some people. I've heard people bag on her. I guess because she's not like a typical SNL cast
exactly.
member.
Yeah.
But I mean,
she was like 50 by the time she joined.
Right,
yeah.
But she fucking has a way
She's
of making
great.
me laugh, like in a different way than any of the other cast members. I will go with Two Wild and Crazy Guys.
Yeah. Very good.
Damn, that's good shit.
Ian, number 10.
I could keep going. I didn't realize just how much I watched the show and how much it affected me. But the thing that's got me laughing the most, it's a commercial. It's the the Lexus December to Remember commercial. Have you seen this?
I haven't seen this one.
So this family sitting around the tree on Christmas morning, and the guy, they're like all done opening their presents, and the dad's like, "Oh, hey, Slugger, there's another present over there behind the tree for your mom," and he hands her the box, and she opens it, and it's a fucking key to a car, and so they go running out to the front, and there's a brand new Lexus sitting out in front of the house with a bow on it, and she's like, "You bought a fucking car without consulting me? That's a major purchase."
Yeah, I got like 2% APR. What are you talking about?
She goes,
APR?
Yo, you mean APR? You mean you think you got this whole ass car for $4,000? It's like, you haven't worked since March of last year. And he's like, "Yeah, COVID hit pretty hard." "No, March of 2019. Then it's like the neighbor walks over and is like, "What the fuck? You bought a new car? You come to me 3 weeks ago. Huh, I need money to buy presents for my family." And then you buy a car? God, I was fucking dying. That really cemented itself in my permanent
Beck Bennett
list.
I love Beck Bennett. I was sad when he left.
Yeah. It was December to Remember. Come on, it's Christmas. He cracks a beer. "Dad, it's 9 a.m. Well, I don't have to go to work tomorrow."
My last one. Oh, shit, it's so hard. My last one will be, I know they have names, but it's Maya Rudolph and what's his name from Portlandia?
Oh, fuck. I was just thinking of him a minute ago. I had his name, and now I can't think of it because you asked.
Fred Armisen.
Fred Armisen.
So it's Maya Rudolph and Fred Armisen.
Were they talking at the same time?
No, that's really fucking good, though.
Who is that? Because that's him.
That's
and
Kirsten Wiig.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
I fucking love that shit.
Kath and Kim.
That's so fucking funny, man. Because talk about like almost breaking like constantly.
And then I went down the street. Are you guys just making this up? No, this is our album. But they're playing. It's like this bougie, futuristic house where their daughter always brings home a new boyfriend, and they don't know how to pronounce his. We are Morshanagan and whatever their name. They can't pronounce the name of the boyfriend or whatever, and they're always eating super weird foods. Have your banana and clam soup. Jacob and I used to quote that shit all the time. I don't even know what. There's only like 3 of them. It didn't catch on, but fuck, I love that sketch so much. I'm just gonna write down banana and clam. His name is Jeffrey. Jeffrey? J on un every mother. Natalie Portman, I think, was on the first one. But all right, thank you guys very much.
Yeah, that was
Shit.
that's it.
I was
That's
hoping
10.
I was hoping we had one more round because I didn't do Coneheads.
Oh,
Shit.
damn.
No one did Coneheads.
Coneheads. I had Lothar the Hill People written down.
Lothar
of the hill people.
And of course, Sprockets.
Yeah. Yeah, Sprockets.
Now
I
is the
forgot
time
about-
on Sprockets when which we do a draft. There was one that I remember for some reason. I don't know why, but it was an old episode with like Gilda Radner. It was a Scotch tape store. Did you ever see?
Yeah.
It was the guy that runs. He put his whole family savings into a store, and the only thing they sell is Scotch tape. And they've got like John Belushi is the stock boy. He's like They have an employee, and people come in and like buy something, to be like, feeling sorry for. Fred Willard and Gilda Radner and John Belushi were in the sketch. It was just one that stuck out in my head. It was random. I don't think it was even a recurring thing, but it was good. It was
You
funny.
saying Belushi made me think of Samurai Delicatessen.
Oh,
That
yes.
was the next thing coming out of my mouth, the Samurai Delicatessen. That cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Roxbury. We didn't say Roxbury.
Say Roxbury, yeah.
What is love?
Baby,
Don't
hurt me.
no more.
You like it the sauce?
Oh, you like it a juice?
You like it the juice?
You like it a juice?
Pepper say win. One crack. Oh, two crack. You like it the pepper?
What was the?
The Folgers Crystals with Chris Farley, where they tell him, like, drink this cup of coffee, and he drinks it. What if I told you this was really
Right?
freeze-dried Folgers Crystals? You son of a bitch.
You remember the one with Mike Myers where he was chained to the jungle gym and he had a helmet?
The
and he-
hypo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls have the buns and the boys have the hot dogs.
There's also the one where he's in the bathtub. I know my name is, and I like to do drawings. And he's in the bathtub
Simon.
with somebody.
Simon.
Simon.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a show back when I was a kid called Simon, and it was he would do drawings and they would come to life. And it was a cartoon. And the song went, well, my name is Simon, and I like to do drawings. Yeah.
Happy Fun Ball.
Boring
Happy.
cartoons.
Do not taunt. Happy football.
Ambiguously Gay Duo.
Fuck. God, that goes down the Robert Smigel
Uh-huh.
rabbit hole right there. Holy shit. Man.
Dana Carvey is George Bush.
Oh God, Black Box, where they're arguing all the political,
Yeah.
all the stuff where Will Ferrell's George W. Bush, all the stuff for Sarah Palin's Tina Fey.
Yeah.
Tina Fey, Sarah Palin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of Norm Macdonald's Weekend Update.
Oh yes.
Dennis Miller's Weekend Update was my jam. I liked Aykroyd and Curtin. Jane, you ignorant slut.
Yeah, but there was a brief stint after college or after high school, my parents shut me down super hard, but I wanted to go to Second City.
Dude,
Oh man.
it was I was all about the Second City. I even went kind of anti SNL for a while because of Second City, and because I loved that group. I loved that show. And Conan does a whole thing on his podcast because he has Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara on the show, and talks about how when he would go to visit his uncle or his grandfather who lived way up north in Buffalo, he would pick up the Second City broadcast from Canada on over the air.
That's SCTV, right?
Yeah,
Second City,
yeah.
Chicago.
Second City,
Second
is
City, Chicago, SCTV,
Yeah.
but it's the same. They moved.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They came from Canada and then went into Chicago.
okay. Yeah, I had
And
no
that's
idea.
when
I
it
didn't
sort
know
of
that.
went nationwide as
Okay.
SCTV.
Okay.
But it started as the Second City in Canada.
I didn't know that. Cool.
And he would pick it up over the air and just loved it and all this stuff. And then so he had been kind of idolizing them. and then he got to have him on the show, and it was cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool. But yeah, I was all about SCTV. Loved it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, SNL, when I was little, SNL was definitely my dream. Like, so I really, like, my parents never would have supported me. So it was bad enough when I wanted to go to culinary school, much less go to Second City. But SNL one has like 3 drawing pools from
Drawing.
Drawing.
Second City in Chicago. The Groundlings in L.A.
Yeah, Groundlings is where Conan tried to
A whole
get
bunch
in.
of them, yeah. And then, like, I think more recently, Upright Citizens Brigade in New York. But yeah, we want to take a break and then talk about the Blues Brothers.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Which we also did not mention in the draft. Blues Brothers.
I don't really qualify that as a
Well, I had to
sketch.
remember. I was like, when have I seen it as a sketch?
It was.
And I had to look it up.
They were just a musical guest.
And I didn't know that until I started doing research for the show because I just assumed they were on. I just assumed it spawned from SNL.
Yeah,
I would've thought it was too,
did
and I just
spawn
missed it.
from SNL, but they were just a musical, kind of an Aykroyd and Belushi musical act to kind of show off a little bit what they could do. You know, so Aykroyd could really blow on that harmonica, and and John Belushi could turn a cartwheel.
Yep.
Oh, Savarsky Crystals. If you remember that with Scarlett Johansson and
I don't know
I
that.
forget where they would look at this one. What about this one?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
You ain't got no kind of feeling inside. I got something that'll sure enough set your stuff on fire.
And now for the Game and Movie Talk.
Game and movie talk about the Blues Brothers.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
I had never seen this.
I'd seen it once before.
Yeah.
I rewatched it.
I had no idea what it was going to be like. I had no idea what I was walking into. I knew nothing at all about the Blues Brothers.
But you did watch it?
I did watch it.
What did you think of
Wasn't
the
I watched
movie?
it. I struggled at first because I just did not know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
What is this gonna be? What is it supposed to be?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even crack a smile until they're in the restaurant trying to get that trumpet player back, and whenever he
Aretha
turns,
Franklin.
no, before
the
that,
fancy restaurant.
the fancy restaurant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like, how much for your daughter and your wife? Okay, that made me laugh. And then once I kind of came to the decision, oh, it's Monty Python-esque.
So
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because it's all like set very seriously, kind of, sort of. But it's like, that's what I enjoyed it way more on my second watch through
Me
than I
too.
did on the first. And I was like, because I was watching it and I was like, maybe this is one of those movies where, like, I don't know. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is entertaining. Like, the music stuff's entertaining, but like a lot of the jokes did not get me.
sure,
But the second time going through, it's kind of like, oh, okay. I kind of, because it's so weird. The movie is so
is a weird
When you see
movie.
Carrie Fisher pull out a bazooka, and I was like, what is this?
and it's shot
so hot.
She was dating Dan Aykroyd at the time.
Yeah.
I didn't know that until
Yeah.
I was looking trivia up in the movie. I was like, holy I didn't even know they
were, like,
were dating.
engaged.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
They had a whole thing.
But like the movie is shot so well that
So-
it doesn't feel like a comedy at points where it's
Yeah.
like, but that's where like some of the absurdity comes in. Like
It does.
because like when she blows up the like, building with like the fucking rocket launcher, the first time I saw the movie, my brain was just like, what? Because
Yeah.
it's shot like it's
You're
not.
supposed to, and you're supposed to feel that way.
Right.
Because like, what the fuck?
and I didn't
all
get
of a
that the
sudden,
first time.
what the fuck?
Right. And then
She
they-
just blew up the building.
Right.
And they're okay, and they're just going in. Okay.
And they climb out of the rubble, and it's like, well,
gotta
we
get
better
to
get
work.
to it. Yeah. It's like, that didn't land for me the first time I watched it. Because I was, I guess, just so like weirded out by it. But the second time through, I thought it was really funny.
There was a lot about this movie that I didn't care for the first time I watched it. In fact, I didn't like it. And I never really got the Blues Brothers thing because I thought, well, okay, it's just Aykroyd and Belushi showing off. They're killing time, showing off the Saturday Night Live band, which at the time was led by the great Paul Schaefer.
Yeah.
Not in this movie, though.
Not in this
he was
movie.
supposed to be, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
They fired him.
John Landis directed this movie, and Dan Aykroyd and John Landis wrote it, and it ended up becoming the most expensive action comedy movie ever filmed to this day.
I've got the number, which
was
is
a
crazy for the time,
it was like,
especially.
I want to guess. I think it was $121 million or something.
It was
17.5, I think.
Oh, that's what it's
27.5.
Okay.
It was produced for, but it box office. The box office
Okay.
is 115.2.
So they made that money back,
Yeah.
big time. And the Blues Brothers was a huge thing. And I thought, okay, fine. It's giving pre-milady dudes an excuse to dress up and wear a fedora, and guys that normally wouldn't dress up as things for Halloween now have a thing. Tanya got all mad at me because I was like kind of riffing on that. She's like, now you're making fun of my dad and my uncle.
Did they go as the Blues Brothers?
Yes. And I thought this is another attempt at rebelling against disco, because that was the thing. The whole punk movement, punk as we know it today started as a movement, a rebellion against disco. And I thought, well, these guys aren't going to get anyone's attention with disco, so they're going to go back to R&B and Motown and soul music to try and get people away from it. I was just being really jaded and bitter about the whole thing because I never really got it either. Rewatching it, however, I actually really enjoyed it.
Like you said, they love it. It's like their dedication to
They
all
really
of that.
do. And I love the music in this movie.
Yeah.
I love the artists in this movie. I have come to appreciate that music and those wonderful artists much more than since the first time I saw it, which was arguably when I was in my 20s, which was 30 some odd years ago.
I also saw it for the first time in my 20s.
I'm a way different person now than I was then, and I really actually very much enjoyed this movie, so I recanted everything. And also the fact that John Landis directed it hit pretty right with me, because I have a list, if you don't mind me reading the list of some of his movies that he's directed to give you an idea of where I'm coming from. Kentucky Fried Movie, which I mentioned before, Catholic Schoolgirls in Trouble et al. Animal House, also starring John Belushi. An American Werewolf in London, which is a classic
great
fucking movie.
And also a weird departure from the other movies like that are in this
truly
list. Yeah.
Truly. And it's a good and scary horror film.
It's a great movie.
First movie to ever have like an on-screen transformation of a person into a werewolf. Griffin Dunn is amazing as the dead friend. It's just it goes on and on.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that movie.
Another amazing movie. It's changed me. I love this movie so much. Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy. Classic movie. Jamie Lee is in this one.
Comedy Central showed it so many times, I had no choice but to watch
I loved Trading Places. I will watch. That's one movie on my list of movies I will watch. If it is on, I will watch it. I sometimes, even when it's not, I will seek it out. Twilight Zone, the movie.
Ooh, that was a bad one for him because of the deaths.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
That's why he and Steven Spielberg don't speak anymore.
Probably, I would assume, because
I think they were best friends until that.
He
That's when I
fucked
read
up on that one.
Yeah, and I think it kind of sent his career on a completely different trajectory.
It did, but
So what happened with that? I don't really know.
So there was the scene in Twilight Zone. The story is that this guy gets sent. He's this entitled rich guy, if I remember right, or something. Or he complains all the time, or something. I can't remember.
It's been a
about
long
how bad
time
he's got it. I don't remember. He gets transported to Vietnam during the Vietnam War, And at one point, there's this scene where this village is being bombed. I can't remember what his deal was, so forgive me, listener, for not knowing. I could look it up, but I'm not going to. It's a life lesson about, maybe appreciating what you have and things like that. But anyway, in one of the scenes, he is transported to this village in Vietnam that's being bombed by the Americans, and there's this big raging battle going on, and there's these two children, and he runs out into this lake to grab these kids, and they were shooting this scene where everything is blowing up and everything is, on fire, and it's just this fucking massive, huge destruction of a scene. And at one point, they are shooting in unsafe conditions, and they know it. And at one point, you see in the scene, a helicopter crashes into the water, and they time it wrong, and both the actor and both children get killed by the rotors of the helicopter in real life. Yeah. That really happened. And it's horrifying. It's horrifying to watch because they just vanish. Ugh. They just vanish. And I've seen this. I've seen the footage of it. They took it out of the movie, and the movie got released anyway. But they took that particular scene out because it's awful. It's fucking awful. Mm-hmm. And so that was obviously a huge black mark on Landis's career at that point, because there was a lot that could have been done to prevent that, and it wasn't. And children died as a result. So yeah, look it up. It's a whole thing, but yeah, it was a tough. That was in 1983. The next thing he did was Spies Like Us with the Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, another classic in my opinion. I loved that movie. I haven't
seen that one.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I don't think it got a lot of critical acclaim, but personally, it deals with the Cold War, and it's a comedy, of course, and it's good shit. I loved it. Three Amigos.
Love it.
Always going to be a classic. Always going to be a classic. Amazon Women on the Moon. Not one of my favorites. I think I've seen it once, and it's whatever. Coming to America.
I didn't know that was him.
Definitely one of my favorite movies, which has there's a direct callback in Coming to America to Trading Places, where he encounters Mortimer and his brother and gives him money. It's really great. Beverly Hills Cop 3, Blues Brothers 2000, and there's a couple other things you may or may not know. One called Oscar, Innocent Blood, Susan's Plan, Masters of Horror, and Burke and Hare. Those I haven't seen.
Have you seen Blues Brothers 2000?
I have, but I think I was still in the same mindset of not giving a shit when I saw it. And I'm pretty sure it's Jim comes in and obviously takes over as Jake.
Yeah. I haven't seen it. I was just curious.
When we get to the N64 game, we'll
Is there an N64 Blues Brothers 2000 game?
Yep.
Whew, boy, I'd
supposed to be one of the worst in the system.
Never want to do that for so many reasons.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I'm with you.
So many.
That's
like a Venn diagram of shit I don't want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Turn on an N64. Watch Blues Brothers 2000.
Watch Jim Belushi in anything. Turn on an N64.
So if I may, just as a quick synopsis of the movie. The Blues Brothers depicts Jake and Elwood Blues.
Yeah.
Jake has been in prison for 3 years for theft and is released for good behavior. His brother comes and picks him up, and they make a stop at the orphanage where they were raised, where they find out.
Which I love that.
From the
scene.
Penguin.
I love that scene. Because it's all shot like a horror movie.
It is.
And that's like shit on the first watch through that I didn't think was funny.
Yeah.
But on the second, it's great. I mean,
they keep cursing.
I don't want to fucking do that.
And she keeps hitting him with a ruler, and then when she hits him, they curse more, and she just starts whacking them both with the ruler
until it breaks.
It's a really good scene.
Well, then in that scene, that's where Jim Belushi hurts his back, And
I didn't know that.
He spends the whole rest of the shooting in a back brace on painkillers.
Because he goes down the
He
stairs?
goes down the steps while sitting in one of those children's desks. And I remember I literally was like, holy, ow. I didn't realize that was him at first actually doing that stunt. That shit would have hurt because it looked fucking painful.
He was on cocaine and painkillers the whole rest of the movie.
And the whole rest of his life.
Yeah. Well,
so that's bad.
Dan Aykroyd said that they had a cocaine budget on this movie for night shoots.
I heard that I heard that at one point during the shoot, Belushi went to someone's house.
Yeah.
And just went in there and was eating their food and was sleeping on their couch. Just a random person.
The 70s.
What Dan Aykroyd started referring to him as America's house guest because he could just go into anybody's house and just eat a sandwich and take a nap. The whole time I'm watching this movie, and I tell Melissa, and she's like, "Holy shit, you're right." Young Dan Aykroyd in this movie could be a fucking body double for Casey Broussard. Like his mannerisms, the way he looks. I mean, take off his glasses, he's not going to look like him. But like the shape of his face, everything, I was like, God damn, he looks just like I text Casey, I was like, dude, watch this. Watch Blues Brothers and take notes.
That's awesome. So they find out from the Penguin, a.k.a. their nun, that the orphanage is going to close because they weren't able to pay their taxes. So the Blues Brothers decide that they're going to get their old band back together and raise the money to save the orphanage.
What, $5,000 then, roughly $20,000 now.
A lot of money. And so they do their thing. They try to find all of their former band members, taking them out of their various life situations. There's a lot of musical sketches in the mix. The first thing they do is they go to a church to get divine inspiration. James Brown is the preacher, and holy Lord, it's so good. And one of my earliest crushes in life, Shaka Khan herself, is in the choir, looking just fine as fuck. I love Shaka Khan. I've had a crush on her since the 80s. Shaka Khan. I want to rock you, Shaka Khan. If you're listening, I want to rock you. I feel for you. I think I love you.
I'd wondered, like, to Melissa, why is the acting on so bad?
Did you not know it was James Brown?
I don't know. James Brown was fine, but all the other band members. It's like, why are they so bad?
Because they're really in a band.
Okay.
The bass player was Donald Duck. It was in quotes, and he always had a pipe. He had a Bob Ross afro and a pipe that wouldn't quit, and he could play the fuck out of that bass, if I may say so myself. But then, so they get divine inspiration, and now they believe they are on a mission from God, that this is the right thing to do. So they go and start to track down their band members. In one of the scenes, they go into a diner to get their former guitar player. And
I love this scene.
Aretha Franklin is just looking cute as a bug. God almighty. I just love these women in this movie. Psycho Carrie Fisher was hot as fuck in this movie. They just had a lot going on for him.
I read that
Twiggy.
in one of her books, I didn't know that was Twiggy until the credits. But I remember reading her book, and she talked about those days. She's like, why the fuck did I pose for Playboy? I was hot as fuck. I would love to have that capture. Everybody could see, hey, look how fucking hot I was. I should have done it. Why did I do it? I'm fucking
She's
stupid.
right. She should have done it. So Aretha breaks into Think and just sings the fuck out of that song, and it's so good. And there's so much good music in this movie. And you know, I don't generally like when movies or TV shows break to say, ladies and gentlemen, Smash Mouth. I don't dig on that. But,
Me neither.
But
This works.
This worked all the way through.
It's
it was relevant.
thematically appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it
and
was relevant to the theme of the movie. And so then they go and they go to do a gig. They finally get the band back together. They go to do a gig, and they're just John Belushi's just got them driving around looking for a place to try to score a gig, and they end up in a country bar. They start off trying to play some blues.
Country and Western.
Country and Western. And then they end up winning the crowd over and then stiffing the owner. because they try to get paid and they say that, well, we were supposed to get $200 for this gig tonight, and the bartender, the owner of the bar is like, well, you drank $300 worth of beer, so you owe me $100. So they have to leave very quickly, and then Hot
Has anybody
Pursuit.
seen Rawhide? I've never ever seen Rawhide.
No.
It's an old show. I've seen it, but it's been a really long time. And even when I saw it, it was in reruns because it was from like the 50s, 50s or 60s, like Bonanza and stuff. But then they get their big gig, and they're trying to get into the gig with literally all of the, because there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where they get pulled over and the cops find out that Elwood has a suspended license.
Dude, and then the chase that ensues.
And they do
when they go through the mall.
They drive into a mall.
Do you have a Miss Piggy?
They crash into a Toys R Us.
Did you see that? So that was a big court case about the mall.
No, I didn't know that. What?
So it's like an abandoned mall that they rent out for like a big exorbitant fee, and then filmed it, and they were done.
I mean, they destroyed the fuck out of that mall and all of those cars. I mean,
it was fully done up.
The
mall was fully functioning as a mall. The stores were stocked. Everything was. It looked like a real mall.
Yeah, I'm surprised to hear that it was not a real
mall. It was a mall that was closed down.
Right. But I mean, like an
active
operating mall.
Okay,
I was like, how the fuck did they get permission to do this?
Right.
Well, the owners of the mall then turned around and sued them, saying, you said you would repair it back to working condition again.
Oh,
and they were like,
and it wasn't in working condition when they.
No,
and that wasn't part of the deal. So it was a whole big thing that eventually dragged up for years and years and got dismissed, and the mall just got torn down. So
wow, no, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, so
that
they
scene
fucked
is
that mall
fucking
up.
wild.
It is wild, and I got to tell you, there's that scene, and then there's another car chase. So they finally get the money, and I don't want to get into all of it. At one point, Cab Calloway does the Heidi, hi,
Minnie the Moocher.
ho.
Yeah,
Minnie the Butcher. Thank you.
And he changed it
Moocher.
for this. He forgot the original words and changed the hey, howdy, who, or whatever to what we know it as more popular in this.
Oh, really?
Oh, is
Because
that
he forgot
right?
the words, and the fans like this rendition better, so he started performing this one.
Always be cobbling.
Scene, always be cobbling. That scene made me so happy.
Yeah.
Because it was a movie magic moment that I would never have expected this movie to have. He turns. The Blues Brothers have not made it to the show yet. They're still running from the cops. They had run out of gas. They were waiting on the gas car to come and give them some gas, and they're running late. And so he's stalling them. He's stalling the show. It's packed. There's 5,000 people in here, and this place is packed. And he turns to the band and he says, "Do you guys know Minnie the Moocher?" And they're like, "Yeah." "All right, follow me." And he turns around and he's in full white tuxes. The band is in white tuxes. It's like an old school big band setup. And as soon as the song is over, they're back to normal. And I loved that it was kind of a moment for him, like a dream, almost like a dream sequence where this is how he has always imagined that it would be. And it was a beautiful moment, and I loved it.
It's a great part of the movie.
And the audience, you could tell, obviously they were bought and paid for, but they were into it and having a good time, and the energy of that scene was just really positive and fun. So then they do that, and then they get them. Then in a classic Saturday Night Live moment, a big record producer just happens to show, like in Wayne's World, just happens to show up
Frankie
and say,
Shop Records. Sorry.
exactly.
It was willing to do anything that they asked.
Yeah. Here's $10,000.
I love to perform as Blues Brothers. The time isn't right.
When you mentioned the bass player earlier, I almost mentioned if it was better than Tia Carrera.
No. He was a better bass player than Tia Carrera because he was actually playing. I don't think he'd look as good in that bikini as Tia did. But
well, we'll just have to see.
well, I no judgment. Maybe he did. You never know. It was the 70s, or was it the 80s? The very early 80s, which is like the 70s.
Pretty much 70s plus.
70s part 2. Yeah. So they have to get to the county assessor's office in Chicago, downtown Chicago, and in time to pay the taxes, so the orphanage doesn't have to close. So they sneak out. And they start one of the best car chases I have ever seen in a movie ever.
Well, they also almost get gunned down in the sewers underneath.
Oh, yes,
by
because
Carrie
on their
Fisher.
way out of sneaking out, Carrie Fisher stops and unloads on them with an M16 assault rifle. And we find out that that Jake had left her at the altar before he got arrested, and he
throws every excuse in the book.
throws
at her.
every excuse in the book at her. My car was out of gas. Got lost.
There was an earthquake.
There was an earthquake. An old friend dropped by. He does all these things in a row, and then he takes off his sunglasses and blinks his big brown at him, and she and gives him a big old kiss, and then he throws her in the mud and they run. And then she shoots at him a little more with her M16. The chase through downtown Chicago.
The name of her beauty salon.
Oh, yeah.
Curl up and die. I mean,
That's at Universal still.
Oh, really?
They have all the little fake signs all around.
They've got the signs
One of
still.
them is the
I saw that and I thought that is the fucking best. That is the best, especially for her character.
Yep.
To be doing that. So, at one point in the movie, she does fire a rocket launcher at them from her car, and then very shortly after that, detonates a bomb in the building that they're living in.
The flamethrower on the propane tank beside the.
They're on the phone, and she lights the propane tank that's right next to the phone booth on fire and blows them to hell in high water.
They just go up like they're fucking Bill and Ted in the phone.
Yes.
And it's so weird because, again, I feel like it's not shot like comedies. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have like I feel like in other comedies there would have been like or like it would have been like made more cartoonish.
Just crunch.
It's just, yeah.
So they've got like now every cop in Illinois chasing after them.
And the Illinois Nazis.
And there's I forgot about the Nazis.
and the good old boys.
And the good old boys. I mean,
Tennessee band.
They got everybody after them. At one point, they disrupt a Nazi rally. Henry Gibson plays the head Nazi, which is a callback to he had that almost same character in Laugh-In back in the day.
Shit,
Yep.
dude. Yeah, I didn't.
I had to
put
look
that
him up.
together.
Like, where have I seen that dude before?
Yeah, he was in Laugh-In, and he had a character that was like a Nazi Nazi general type of thing, like a Hitler type. So he's got them after him. They crash maybe 100 cars in this movie, real cars.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have fake CGI cars back then.
And I think this had the record of like the most car
believe
crashes in a movie. I
would
think
believe
until
For a long time.
Transformers,
Okay.
which I was surprised that like
those
that
were
wasn't
real.
just all CG. Yeah.
It's an insane amount of
It's
cars.
fucking wild.
One of the Bluesmobiles still exists.
Ooh.
And it is owned by Dan Aykroyd's brother-in-law.
Really?
love it.
Yep.
There's a replica in that Jackson, Tennessee. Car
really?
museum I was
Yes,
talking about,
yes.
Wayne's World. They have a replica of the Bluesmobile.
Now, 2 reasons I want to go
I
to
know,
this thing.
right? And it's got the big speaker, the big. amp
Oh,
on
wow.
top of it.
Okay. Yeah. Because at one point, they've got a giant speaker on top of their car, and they're driving around telling people to come see their show. Old school. But so the chase scene through Chicago, they've got like the camera mounted on the front of the car, and it shows at one point they're running through traffic from this perspective, from the perspective of the grill of the car. It literally gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, dude.
Like, it was so tense.
Yeah, there's some cool shots in
There's
this
some
movie.
really good
There's
shit
a shot
in this
where-
movie.
I can't remember where the Blues Brothers are walking, but like, God, I wish I could remember. But they're walking on like a walkway that's got like the slats, like the thin slats of iron, and the camera is below them. It was in the prison. And
The very first shot.
and it's like,
yeah, the cinematography is insane.
yeah, it follows the cameras down below them, and it follows them walking up above.
Yeah.
And it's like, the work on that is really, really good.
It's insanely good.
And then in the orphanage, where like they do the shot, like that whole thing when they're leading up to go into her room is shot like a horror movie. Like the door closes behind them, and they're all freaked out. There's a shot where she opens the door, and they do the dolly pull back,
and she just goes like this and goes back.
Yeah,
it was wonderful. There was so much of that in this movie. They at one point when the Nazis are chasing them.
Look, can I tell you this factoid? Here we go. 40 stunt drivers were flown in every weekend to do all the car chases. The 60 old police cars were purchased for $400 apiece. The filmmakers got permission to drive down Lake Street at speeds of over 100 miles an hour. And they had to reshoot one scene because the lack of pedestrians made it look fake. So they did it and then redid it again and had, stunt people because they had to
get out of the way and everything. But probably right outside the tax building.
And one of those stunt drivers was Ethan Wayne, who is John Wayne's youngest son.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, that was intense. And then they had, of course, the Nazis chasing them. And at one point, the Bluesmobile can do some crazy shit, and at one point it does kind of a backflip.
I know, man. It's so fucking. It's like the car could just jump.
It could just jump. and the Nazi Henry Gibson and his Nazi friend are chasing him in a red Pinto station wagon. Well, they backflip over the red Pinto station wagon, and they what? They drop off the end of this bridge. But the next scene, it's as if the bridge were higher up than the Sears Tower.
Yeah, because they fall.
Because it falls so long and they got this shot obviously from a helicopter. They literally dropped a Pinto station wagon out of a plane or a fucking helicopter or something.
They had to get a special license to do that.
Yeah, I bet.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I bet they did.
It took a long time for them to do.
You want to do what?
They had to do test cars to make sure it fell the right way for the licensure.
Right, because dropping
that's how
dropping a red Pinto on the Chicago metropolitan area. It's just like, what? I was laughing so hard because it was so exaggerated.
Yeah.
The thing just flew off a bridge, but it fell as if it had fallen off the top of the Sears Tower. So it was fucking hilarious.
The whole movie is a spectacle.
It really
is. It's like, I think it's more of a spectacle than it is a funny movie.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's like,
funny because it's a spectacle
in
that environment.
And it's like, I know we're kind of, I don't want to pull us back, but we didn't mention Ray Charles because Ray Charles.
That's right, the music store,
a music segment as well, which I think is really good.
Oh, it's so good.
And that's like a huge like choreographed dance sequence happening outside the music store,
just like in the diner with Aretha. They all had these choreographed dance moves. It was a musical.
Yeah,
it was an action comedy musical.
It's a wild movie.
Yeah.
And Paul Rubens is in it.
Yeah, Paul Rubens has a bit part. He's the waiter in the fancy restaurant when they go to get their horn player.
And the guy at the beginning who gives Jake all his stuff back.
Frank Oz.
Yeah. And of course, we have to mention the aforementioned Steven Spielberg is the county tax assessor that they have to pay.
See, I didn't either. I read it after the fact, and I was like, I cannot believe that I didn't pick out Steven
Well, I
Spielberg.
caught that when I was watching the end of it with Tanya. Tanya's seen it a whole bunch more times than I have. And I was like, holy shit, is that Steven Spielberg? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. So, I thought that was really neat. And then at the end of the movie, they are caught and they are arrested. But they get to do the thing where they do their band in the jail and they play Jailhouse Rock, and then they run the credits and they have they keep switching shots of all of the different like mega stars that were in the movie singing bits and pieces of Jailhouse Rock. I actually really liked this movie.
Yeah, I did too.
I was glad when we. At first, I was like, "Fuck," and now I'm really glad I saw it again because I had a lot of fun watching the movie. Just big recommend. It's a classic movie that I think everyone should see at least once.
It's important.
Maybe after you've turned 30.
Yeah, there's something about watching it.
Get to it after you between 30 and 50.
Yeah. If
Get
I had
there.
seen it in my 20s when it came out, it might have been different.
Right, and probably for different reasons.
Totally, absolutely.
But 4 stars. Wisdom Sage says check it out. I really want everyone to watch Blues Brothers and get a real feel for kind of how they used to do it. You know,
I can only imagine back then having Elwood hit on Twiggy was probably like, holy shit.
I know, right?
Back then.
Yeah, but like not knowing, because I didn't, when I saw this movie the first time, I didn't know who she was.
she went for it. She went for it. He's feeling it.
She
He
shows up at the
She
end.
shows
Right,
up at
she's
the
waiting for
hotel.
him.
Yeah. And Twiggy was the shit back then.
Yeah.
Twiggy was like a fucking
Like the
big.
first real supermodel.
yeah, big deal.
Good smize.
And that leads us into the second part of our discussion about the Blues Brothers.
Game talk.
The game talk. And, you know, sure, we've seen cinematic platformers and sure, we've seen Joe and Mac. But have we seen it featuring the Blues Brothers?
It's funny you bring up Joe and Mac
Yeah.
because the game felt like a Joe and Mac knockoff.
It absolutely
that
was.
Put the Blues Brothers in it.
Yes, and I think we have not seen that before, which is about the only thing this game has going for it, is that it's unique
So
in the
weird.
fact that it's a
So
weird thing. There was absolutely 100% zero tie-in to the movie.
No, there wasn't. Yeah, I mean, they didn't even try.
No,
Other than
not even close.
musically is the only thing you can kind
The
of.
characters,
Yeah,
the
even though they're
music.
super cartoonish and like,
yeah, obviously.
they're stylized in a way where I feel like you can still recognize.
I
them
agree.
and-
There's the jukebox things and the musical notes, and yes, that
Well, SNES Drunk had a good point. Like you could take any franchise, anything like that, and just plug it into this game, and you'd have the exact same thing.
I agree.
You could have fucking Peter Rabbit and have, like his example, Peter Rabbit and have the records are carrots, and it's Peter Rabbit, and it's the exact same game.
Yeah.
Everything's the same.
I guess, but I mean, what do you do with the music? I still think the music is like different, like and ties together because it's like I don't know. That's licensed music.
You get
know
the
what
Peter
I mean?
Gunn
That's-
theme. The dun dun
Yeah,
dun dun
and it's
dun,
like
dun,
if that's a big
dun,
deal
dun.
for rock and roll racing, it's one of those where it's like, okay,
Yeah.
someone licensed some real fucking pop music.
Which is the thing that I say that one of the few things that I think that this game has going for it. I mean, having licensed music is always a plus. But man, it was just so weird, and I don't know. I'm on the fence about this one.
All right.
So yeah, let's kick that off a little bit. Let's get into the zone.
I liked it a lot.
Really?
I knew you would.
Yeah,
I knew I was
didn't
playing
hate
it, and I was not hating it either.
I didn't hate it,
But
thought it
I was
okay.
thinking to myself while I was playing it, Dave's going to like this
I
game.
liked it a lot. I finished it. I beat the game. I don't think it's a great game, but it was enough where it was like, yeah, okay. I mean, it is a weird game, and that definitely appeals to me. It's weird in like it feels like a DOS game on the Super Nintendo.
Oh,
And that is like a cool category to me where it's like, you see a kind of a lot of these, I guess. It was developed by Titus France. So
Right.
that didn't surprise me because it's like, okay, a European company made this
that and the
developed
Blues
this
Brothers
game.
was a bomb here, huge overseas.
What? I didn't know that.
It was considered a box office bomb in the United States, but the overseas was
And then
For the first
massive.
film?
Yeah.
Massive.
Wow.
And then it came back around as a cult classic, and that's why it's so.
It came out a
Wow,
month after
popular.
Empire.
Oh, really?
So I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's not a good-
not a great time to release
hey,
it.
Not
Carrie
a good
Fisher's in
time.
that.
I think they were kind of hoping. I think they were kind of banking on that a little bit. Like, okay. I know it's not great. Probably not going to be Carrie Fisher. She's hot right now.
But yeah, and I don't want you guys, please don't hold anything back on this game because, I mean, in your I'm not trying to sway you guys.
No, I have
because I think the game is very flawed.
It's flawed as fuck.
The
There are-
platforming basics were fine.
I thought they were
fine.
solid.
They
And
were.
and
It was snappy and punchy, and it moved well. The controls were great.
And it felt like to me, it felt like an NES game that was on the SNES.
Absolutely.
But I mean that in the good way.
Like
not-
Tiny
No, I know
Toons.
exactly
like
what
Tiny
you mean.
Toons,
was
Bust
similar
or
to
Bust
Tiny
Loose,
Toons.
where it feels it.
I mean the
it's-
NES Tiny Toons.
Oh, the NES. Yeah, I can see, because honestly, I kind of feel like those games kind of played similarly. You know, they had like must have had a similar design
Yeah.
standpoint, but like the game's not. Blues Brothers is an unfinished game. I don't have a I can't point to a resource saying it's unfinished, but there is a level in the game where you hop on a snake dragon.
Yep.
and
That
you,
was
and you just fly to the right. There's nothing in the stage. There's like nothing to like. There's nothing to do.
It carries you, but you gotta, if you're playing 2-player, you gotta send it back over or do
Oh,
something.
really?
I
I didn't
watched
know
the
that.
long play.
Yeah,
Of it.
I didn't play it 2-player.
I got about halfway through the factory before I was like, I get this.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
exactly what this game's about. So I didn't get
Right.
to the flying dragon.
The flying snake
It's
dragon
fucking
thing
wild.
is weird.
It's
as
like,
fuck.
why?
but I love it.
You
It's-
remember when that happens? Whenever they have to escape and the dragon comes down and
Yeah.
this
That
Falcor
part.
looking thing. It's like, so that's stage 13 is where the dragon
Yeah.
first shows up, and I know that because there are 11 1-ups in that level, and it's like, am I going to spend 20 minutes getting my lives to 99? Yeah, you bet. Absolutely, I am. And it was that point where it's like, I'm definitely going to finish this game. Like,
Right.
this is
You committed at this
committed
point.
for-
yeah.
I'm glad you have a
100%.
projectile,
yeah, you throw
and
the
then it's not a
records.
pure platformer.
Well, is it
It's
me or
close
is
to
it,
a pure platformer, but yeah, you're right.
is it me or is there no way to defend yourself if you're out of records?
No, there's no way to
You can't
defend
jump
yourself.
on
No.
enemies to knock them out or kill them. And I thought sucked. I
Yeah,
don't like.
I
You
didn't
know
like it
me.
at
I
first.
don't like ammo management. I don't like having to collect ammo.
I get it.
I understand Sonic did this, and this was actually a projectile weapon that you could use. I understand that. And you could really hammer it out, and before you know it, you're out of ammo. So you got to keep up with that.
All
And
those
I don't,
surprise bear traps you got to throw records at.
that you can't see.
man.
and over and over
that
and over and
the
over.
enemy design in the game, I feel like, was lacking and annoying, especially the traps, because you can't see them half the time.
And you need to be, I mean, honestly, they needed to make it to where you could have at least some way of defending yourself without, if you were out of ammo. Because otherwise, if you collected it all, it doesn't come back, and you've got to,
It doesn't carry over.
it doesn't carry over either. And you've got to fend for yourself
Yeah.
and be really good at dodging and jumping and all that stuff, because it becomes a whole different and much more difficult game without ammo.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I knew, as I was playing it, I knew that was going to be a sticking point, because I know how you feel about ammo management, particularly in games like
Games
this.
like this, especially.
I do feel like the records were pretty easy to come by.
They were
though.
very plentiful.
they were.
Almost plentiful enough where it's like, what's the point
Right.
of like even having, like, why don't you just have
Just
infinite?
infinite ammo. Right. Exactly.
But I do think that they did a good job, a surprisingly good job compared to other platformers on the SNES, where they like took a note from Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario World, where they're like, let's use these records to kind of guide the player, because I feel like they
Yeah.
did that a lot.
They do that a lot. You're absolutely right.
And I've played a lot of platformers on the Super Nintendo where it's like the developer does not understand that point, where it's just like, I don't know, we just put the things you collect wherever, and sometimes they lead you to a dead end. And I felt like Blues Brothers, I felt like they were trying.
yeah.
It felt to me like a game that they knew was too short, because I beat this game in 2.5 hours.
It's like 35
First
short
playthrough.
levels or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 34, 35.
The long play I watched was 31 minutes.
I believe it, because when I
Soup
was
to
playing
nuts.
it, I was thinking this would be a fun game to speed run.
There's a
Because you could
task in
blast
15.
through it.
Yeah.
So I feel like to me, it felt like the developer was like, "Oh shit, this game is too short. What do we do? I don't know. Put another dragon level in there where you just go from left to right." It felt like it felt unfinished. It
How
felt
about
like it needed more time to
bosses?
bake.
No
Yeah.
bosses. Okay, no, we'll just do more dragons.
I always hate when a game doesn't have any bosses.
I
or
thought
any
of
sort
you on that
clearance.
too.
bugs
It didn't
me.
bother me, but I get it. And in another way where it felt unfinished, there are levels in the game that feel like there was supposed to be a boss here because like
It just sort of this.
It's
it
wide
stops,
open area.
It's wide open.
Yep.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
The
saying.
third level, I got stuck. The third level is when I had to stop and pull up a playthrough because you
The
jump
chains?
and go over. Although chains were fine. The chains were.
homie, I had no idea.
They
on
do.
that-
They look like something in the
They
background.
do.
I only knew because of me having to watch the playthrough
Man,
to figure it out.
I wasted at least all of my continues until I figured out, oh, you can climb those chains that look like they're unclimbable.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
it
cut
was
you
there's
off.
like the third level. You're still in the forest, and then there's like a big clearing where there's nothing. And I was like, how the? I see platforms up in the air. What the fuck do I do? You just barely see a mushroom hidden in the trees, and I missed that over and over and over. And I had
Yeah.
to. That bugged me. That third level, I was just completely flummoxed and had to watch something to figure it out.
Dude, I agree. I feel like that's bad design, and I'm curious if that's another one where it's like the developers like, oh shit, we don't have enough content. Let's hide things to make it last longer. You know, that's a bad design decision if that's the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a problem with that, and then on the next level, I had a problem with the chains where it's like this is just kind of it feels obtuse.
Yep.
And it feels obtuse for no good reason.
But I mean, kudos to it for they didn't feel like they were on ice. They
No.
didn't feel the basic that needed to be their platforming that was there.
I
That
think- I
is
agree.
super annoying when they can't get that right.
And if it wasn't, honestly, I probably would hate this game.
Yeah.
But it was super. I was so surprised by how tight the controls were.
I had a couple of bugaboos about like the controls were good. I thought the graphics were really nice.
I thought the graphics were good too, especially the Blues Brothers themselves.
The sprites
and-
themselves looked good. Tyler,
they looked
I-
like who they were supposed to look like.
They were
weren't-
sized
They
appropriately.
were sized, yeah,
Absolutely.
100% appropriate.
And that's another reason I feel like it felt more like an NES game because
Yeah.
the sprites, proportional to the rest of the level, were small.
And it was cool when they would pick up their little toadstool power up or whatever it was, and they'd get all muscular and be busting through their shirts,
Yeah, but-
and you could see the muscles on them. It was just
Jake and
cool.
Elle would go Hans and Franz and
Yeah.
other suits. You remember that?
But the bugaboo, a couple of the bugaboos I had were that I don't like time limits, which this game had.
Yeah.
And I thought you said obtuse level design. I agree. That's literally in my notes, is that it's obtuse. There was a lot of places where you had to go up and there was no obvious way to go up, and you'd get on a springboard and it would spring you up, but not quite
Not
high enough.
where-
And
so
you
like,
had
what am I
to-
not doing right?
You had to know how to kind of run, jump off the tree, jump over here, and then you're up.
Yeah.
And it was that I don't like.
Even the first level, that was all spikes. Like if you fall off,
yeah,
you're just
which
you
I
gotta find the invincibility and run back and hope you make it in time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in the first level.
Yeah.
yeah, right off the fucking bat. And then I thought that maybe some of it felt like, because the fact this game does have a 2-player feature, simultaneous
Which that is
2-player
cool.
feature,
Which
which
is
is
cool,
awesome. I think that is really neat. The players can interact
Fight
with
couldn't
one
do it.
another. They can pick them up and carry. No, it didn't. And it could pick them up and carry the other player.
And that felt to me like Chippendale's Rescue Rangers.
It did,
for the
absolutely.
NES.
I agree with you there.
Which I love that
That
game.
might
Yeah.
be more of what I'm thinking than Tiny Toons is Chippendale.
And I think Chippendale's
it plays
a
like
much better
Chippendale.
game than Blues Brothers.
Well, yeah.
Well,
But-
it's better. Yeah, it's just better laid out
Right.
than this. But I
But
can,
still,
I
I feel
can
like
where
I got vibes.
those bones are
a
there.
hint of that.
Yeah.
I feel like Disney
A soup
Interactive
song.
probably had a little bit
And a
more
moose
money.
boosh.
Moose Boosh. Should see the menu. It's a really good movie. But
John Candy's in Blues Brothers.
yes, he
Just
is.
want- just want to put that
He's
out.
the
Orange whip,
parole officer.
orange whip, 3 orange whips. He improv that,
Oh, really?
and it was a nod to the caterer who wanted to be in the movie.
Oh, wow.
I love it. I love that.
Sorry, it just came
No,
to
that's
me.
okay.
The way you said something made me think of John Candy.
I
was
completely
like, Oh, I have
forgot.
to say this.
I completely forgot. I'm glad you did, because I had forgotten to mention that John Candy was in it. But the fact that it has 2-player is amazing. I thought, but I thought that the game's level design was more geared towards playing 2-player than single player, and I don't care for that. I don't mind that you could have a different kind of fun playing with 2 people than you would playing by yourself. But the fact that I feel like it would have been easier to accomplish the goals in the game with 2 players limits you to a frustrating time versus a maybe a more enjoyable time. But I wouldn't have had anyone to play with when I was a kid.
Yeah, same. And what I wish they would have done is I wish that the levels that you played in 2-player, I wish they were different than the levels that you play single player.
I think that would have been really great. And Lord knows they would have had room because there were no bosses.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
They could have put another set of levels in there just for the 2-player experience. You're absolutely right.
Or cut the fat from the single player levels that like don't make sense.
Yeah.
And then utilize that space and new levels for those for 2 players only.
Even if you could even work in like a sort of an AI to follow you around like Tails or something, you know what I mean? You know, that would have been neat as an option.
Yeah.
So that way you're always playing with 2 players, but you know, it is what it is. And it's just, like I said, most of these are just bugaboos that could have been easily fixed under maybe heavier scrutiny.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't hate it. I mean, I don't like games like this that much anyway. I'm starting to fear that I just don't like Super Nintendo games, which is fine. I mean, I can appreciate a good game, even if I don't care for them for the most part. And I didn't hate it, but it wasn't for me. But it wasn't the game's fault that it wasn't for me. It's just that's not my thing. Yeah,
I do feel like if this were a more fleshed out platformer, then it would have helped at least. Because this is like, I can't express how happy I was with the controls. Like the controls
tight.
are the controls are what carried me through, like what kept me playing. Because
absolutely.
It's like, okay, some of this is completely janky, and that also scratches another weird itch where it's like, there's something in this game that is so good that I'm willing to kind of like overlook everything that's middling to subpar, which there is quite a bit of that.
The knockback can suck a dick.
Yeah.
The knockback in this game is rough.
It is.
If you get hit by something while you're on a platform, you're going off the platform.
For sure.
And I thought that was a tough little obstacle for me to overcome.
They're generous with the invincibility frames.
They are.
Which is nice, because if you get hit, you can. Like I would get hit, and it's like I'm skipping this section. I'm just running as far right as I can. Yeah.
I wish this game was like a destruction derby type racer for all the scenes in the movie.
For, like tie in with the movie.
Yeah, give me something where I'm just like driving around just smashing shit.
Yeah, agreed. I think that would have gone over well. I also think this would have been an excellent game to make into an RPG based on the movie because they're literally on a quest.
Yeah.
And I think you could have done it and had, also the driving and the destruction built in there,
I wish Vice City had a reskin where you could be Elwood or Jake.
That's awesome.
But you're not like employed by the mafia. You're just going around just wrecking shit.
Yeah, or Twisted Metal.
Man, the next, I don't know if you heard, I've seen the trailer, the real trailer for Grand Theft Auto. The next Grand Theft Auto dropped, and it's good.
I've seen it.
It's like back in Vice City, which is like fuck, because that's my favorite Grand Theft Auto
girl,
city.
Same.
And the song it's a Tom Petty song, and it's like, oh my god.
I don't know if I have seen that. Then maybe I'm still thinking about the fake one.
It's a good trailer. Like it sold me.
This is 2025. We're looking at, right?
I can't remember the date.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm just excited that
that is cool, and the fact that it's going back to Vice City. Yes, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5.
I didn't play 5.
I'm going to play a lot of this one. I'm going to get back into it for that because I love Vice City.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail, but you talking about cars and crashing shit and like causing chaos. Yeah. That would totally play a reskin of Grand Theft Auto as Blues Brothers.
Or we can make D&D characters. We'll just be twin clerics of Alitamara. who just agents of musical chaos.
It's funny because I was thinking when we were talking about the movie and like how they survive all this shit, I was thinking of what's the Fortune's friend?
Yeah.
That's like they're two Fortune's friends where it's just like luck. They're just all luck.
Yeah.
It's like things that should kill them, they don't.
Just brush off.
And it's
yeah.
happened so much that, yeah, exactly. They just brush it off.
They both have Domino's power where things just work out.
Right?
But yeah, I was okay. I think, I would recommend it to someone that likes this type of game. I'd say go for it. Just keep in mind there's some stuff you should be mindful of.
It's a big recommend for me if you like platformers, because I do feel like the controls are worth enough checking out. If you like platformers, if that's like your jam, this is so much better. This is going to sound fucking crazy, but this is so much better than like Arrow the Acrobat. Like,
Dude,
this is
Yeah, I agree.
This game shouldn't have been this good. I was expecting it to be awful. Like in
I was
every
too,
way.
and maybe that has a lot to do with why I liked it a lot.
You had
Because
a
I was
low
expecting
bar,
it to be
yeah.
horrible,
Yeah,
like
me
the
too.
bottom of the barrel
Yeah.
game, and it was like it's pretty good.
It's all right.
There's nothing like playing trash to make you appreciate mediocrity. So
That is true. We
Yeah.
played a lot of trash, and again, I want to stress I wasn't trying to sway you guys.
No,
and I hope that you were honest.
I was.
with-
I
'cause
was.
mean,
I was
like,
not planning on shitting on this game. I was just going to point out the things that I didn't like about it. But I'm not going to call it a bad game because I don't think it is.
I think it's okay.
It's fine.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
It needed more polish, but it's got good. It's
Definitely.
got good bones.
It needed more. It's a little doughy.
Yeah.
It needed to be in the oven for like 5 to 20 more minutes.
If I'd seen, I would be surprised to see this on like Nick Arcade and kids just fucking dying over and over in the first like 30 seconds of
Yeah.
it.
for
Not
sure.
knowing
In
what
the
to do.
in the
Yes.
thorn pit.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk to me about achievements later. I'll tell you about the thorn pit.
Come over here. You can play ActRaiser, Blues Brothers, or R-Type.
R-Type.
You got, we'll see, buy, rent, birthday.
This is a rare birthday for me.
Yeah.
This is where because I feel like I think it would be a frustrating rental and an equally frustrating buy. But if someone gave this to me, I think it would grow on me pretty quickly, and I wouldn't be sorry that I had it in my collection. But I probably wouldn't go after it on purpose for either of the other two. So this is a birthday.
I feel like this would have been a good rental back in the day because it's so short.
Yeah.
The game
Josh
is
and I
so
would have
short.
rented this, beat it in a night, and felt good about it,
Yeah.
and then never looked at it ever
Yeah,
again.
because it's one of the it's weird that filled a weird niche in that era. Like I remember being a kid and being like, I need more games that I can beat.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You'd
Where
like
it's like
that- it's
I don't
that
have to love
dopamine.
it,
Yeah.
but I want to beat it. I want
That
to
satisfaction.
right. So yeah, it would have been a rent for me as a kid. I'm going to buy this game. So it's a buy for me currently. I want this game. I want this game in the collection. So
I'm glad.
it's been a minute since we've done an episode. And I've been like, I'm going to go on eBay when we're done and buy this game.
No, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad that.
Have
I'm
you already
glad
looked up
that-
how much it is?
I have.
Okay.
I
All
have.
right. Then I'm like,
That'll give you a
I
hint.
hope you're saying it's a buy then until we get to the segment. You're like, never mind.
Never mind. So that's a hint for an upcoming. Like when you put your guesses in. What is Dave? The segment is what is Dave willing to pay for Blues Brothers on the SNES?
That's what we need to. We need to add that on. Is Dave willing to pay that?
Let's see. Do you guys have any achievements?
I have several.
Do tell.
My first achievement is give me some lovin'. And you cross the upper platforms of any level while carrying player 2. My second achievement is think. Figure out that playing this game as one player is pointless by getting stuck and unable to navigate out of level 2 alone. That happened to me. My next achievement is the old landmark. Reach every jukebox. My fourth achievement is Minnie the Moocher. Lose your power-up mushroom to an enemy immediately after getting it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
My next achievement is shake a tail feather. Fall into the thorn pit immediately on the first level and try to run and get out of it before dying. I got that one. Everybody needs somebody to love. Beat the game in 2-player mode. And Jailhouse Rock. And that's get lost in one of the lower levels. And my final achievement is Your Cheating Heart. And to get Your Cheating Heart, you use cheat codes to change the background palette.
Can you do? Is there one for
It's
that?
the only one I could find.
That's fun. It's weird.
And in case you didn't figure it out, all my
love the theme.
achievements were songs from the
in
movie.
I love that theme. I've got a couple. They're not thematically good, but
No, please.
first one is it ain't much, but it's honest work. In order to unlock it, ain't much, but it's honest work. Farm extra lives on stage 13 until you reach the maximum of 99 lives.
Yes.
Next achievement is we're on a mission from God. In order to unlock, we're on a mission from God. Finish the game without losing a life.
Ooh, nice.
That's a pretty solid impression too, because he says it just like that.
You got it right. You nailed it.
God has a little Y in it.
Chicago. Next achievement is sounds Hawaiian, doesn't it? Now there's like so that theremin, the Y in it made me think of the theremin. There's like in Shadowbringers, there's like this theme that uses the theremin at every fucking hint. I have my headphones on, but every time I'm sure like Henry's gonna be 20 years old and he's gonna have like flashbacks of like sounds Hawaiian, doesn't it? Because every time it plays, I mutter that to myself when I'm playing the game. Thank you, Dark Tower.
Yeah. It's the thinny.
Next achievement is we're getting the band back together. In order to unlock, we're getting the band back together. Complete the game in co-op mode. And my next achievement is we're 34 stages to Chicago. We've got a day off from work, half a bag of Cheetos. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. In order to unlock that, you finish the Blues Brothers in one sitting, which you have to do because there's no fucking passwords.
Yeah, no passwords.
There's no battery backup.
There are passwords on different versions of the game, like the Game Boy and other systems have passwords.
Which is, I failed to mention this earlier. The history of this game and development history is fucking weird because the Blues Brothers on the SNES is a sequel to another Blues Brothers game that was on the NES,
like on the Amiga or
on
something.
DOS and Amiga. And then another one was made for DOS, I believe, called Blues Brothers Jukebox Adventures or some shit like that. And then they were like, we're going to make this a Super Nintendo game too. And it's like, well, we'll just call it the Blues Brothers, I guess.
Okay.
And then that's what they did. And it's weird, like most of this shit tends to be.
Yeah.
I read that John Belushi went through over 200 pairs of sunglasses while filming this. Because like
that.
he would wear one for a scene and then they'd just be gone. And he wouldn't know what he did with them. Or anything.
Did you eat those?
You snorted them, didn't you?
And my last achievement is beefcake. In order to unlock
I haven't even
beefcake,
thought about that fucking minute.
you pick up a second strength cake when you're already roided out from the first one, which I thought it was weird that you
could
get
do
strong
it,
from
yeah.
cake, first
Yeah.
of all.
I think beefcake, you probably got it exactly right.
That was a very thematic set of achievements.
I feel like it was everywhere. But
Loved
thank
it.
you.
I've got 5. The first one being Get 'em, Nemo. You unlock that by killing 5 slugs because they look like something out of the little Nemo game.
Yeah.
They
The
do,
cartoony
yeah.
snails just going across. The other one is maybe they drop a cookie. And you unlock maybe they drop a cookie by killing one of the flying men who look to me like the spiteful crows from Earthbound.
Okay.
And then Falcor. You ride the dragon. Jukebox Hero. Beat the game.
Okay.
And then just one Soul Brother. And that's you play on mono instead of stereo. Because that's the only option you can
only
talk.
option.
Yep. So before we get into the bidding on what it's worth and all that, I think we should discuss our next adventure.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have something in mind?
Well, I kind of do, but I don't. I had two things in mind.
I kind of have one as well.
One was, but unfortunately,
I have one too. Then.
so
I have a gun.
one of the other things, and I know, just hear me out.
Uh-huh.
One of the other things that John Landis directed was the video for Thriller.
Okay.
I was
I didn't
thinking,
know that.
we should do Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, but you've already
We've
done
done that, yeah.
So that was going to be my suggestion. So I looked for other things. I couldn't find any more games based on John Landis movies, but I did find a game based on a movie that John Landis wrote.
Dude, I think, okay.
Clue.
Oh,
He wrote Clue.
I did not know he wrote Clue.
I did not know that either until I did my research. So I'm throwing up for bids Clue as
Just
our
Clues
next
on the
game.
SNES, right?
Because it is a movie and it is a game.
I believe
yes,
it's on the
it's an SNES game.
Yeah.
And I don't think y'all had done it, so I thought
No, we haven't.
we should potentially consider Clue. What was your suggestion?
I like it better than my suggestion. My suggestion was going to be Lethal Weapon.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't know it was I just found out this week that it was a video, like a Super Nintendo video game.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that's kind of like thematically appropriate with what we had been doing. I like Clue better, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Clue too. Are we gonna watch the movie? I know this is based off the board game.
Oh, yeah. I'm
we
watching
have to
it
watch the
regardless.
movie.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll make it a movie as well.
Have we all seen Clue?
Yes.
been
I've
a
seen it a
long
few
fucking
times,
time.
but I'm
I've
ready
seen
to
it
rewatch
a lot
it.
of times. I've seen it recently, but I'm going to watch it again. There's also a potential remake of Clue in the works.
Really?
It's a
John Krasinski joint?
not John Krasinski. It's
I'd watch the cast of The Office and a new Clue.
why can I never think of his
Be a great
name?
reunion.
I love his work, and I can never think. Deadpool. I did this last week.
Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds is looking at redoing. I think they've been working on redoing it with him and various other.
He's got my trust.
I think he would do it right.
Yeah.
That's one of those. And Clue is one of my all-time favorite comedies.
Clue is.
It's a
I don't want to
fucking
spoil
great
anything
movie.
for our next episode, but
It's a great
great.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit it right now that I'm excited for Clue. So.
Me too.
Okay.
I'm
We cool
excited
with
to
that?
watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nikki,
All right.
Nikki and I watched it a couple times. I'm excited to watch it with her again.
Sweet. Okay, we're settled. I wanted to say that before I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
perfect.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, how much do you guys think, not Clue, but Blues Brothers for the Super Nintendo goes for loose if you were to buy it? Or how much do you think I would pay for it?
$17.
$17 from Ian.
See, you seem to have really liked it, so I'm gonna say $30.
$30 from Tyler. Actual retail value of the Blues Brothers, loose, on average for the Super Nintendo, according to PriceCharting.com at the time of this recording, is $27.61.
Almost right in the middle.
Yeah.
Of what we said.
I'm not happy if I'm going to pay that much, but I mean, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, I haven't bought one of these in a long time. This one struck a chord with me. I'll buy it.
Cool.
Not going to wait to find it in the wild. I'm going to find it on eBay and buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel
Maybe
like you're looking
from-
for a long fucking time.
Yeah, probably. Might buy it from the Rapey Dragon. Who knows? What do you think Flopsy has to say about the Blues Brothers?
3 stars. Uncommon.
3 uncommon. Okay.
2 uncommon.
I'm going to split the difference on the star ratings. I'm going to go 2.5. But I'm going to stick with uncommon. I feel like this is uncommon. Has to be.
Yeah.
Maybe very uncommon.
Or even very
Maybe.
Could be
Uncommon.
very
Ugh.
uncommon. I will accept that.
Shit. I'll go
That's-
2.5 very uncommon.
Okay.
Just for the sake of having the only very uncommon. According to Flopsy, a.k.a. the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library, 1991 through 1998 by Pat Country, courtesy of Monster Mold Mike and a mysterious shadowy benefactor. Blues Brothers, the, is 2 stars. Very uncommon.
Okay.
Glad I switched that.
Yeah.
Got the rating wrong. I feel like that's a fair one. I feel like 2 stars is fair. As much as I like the game, I mean,
I thought they were going to pump it up a little bit more.
Yeah, it's
like
fucked up,
do.
man. Because it's like a 2-star in Flopsy means this game is actually a 1-star game.
Yeah, right, right.
See, for some reason, I got the feeling this wouldn't be a game they would pump up. Like there'd have to be something else nostalgic about it, and it's not a nostalgia game for them to inflate.
Yeah,
it would have to follow the movie more to be nostalgic.
There'd have to be something, for them to, as a kid, they liked about it, so they inflated their rating.
Right. Okay.
Was Blues Brothers rated R? It was, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's another weird one where it's like, we were talking about Dirty Harry, and like that's a rated R.
Why is Nintendo making a game based on a rated? And then when you see the game, it's like, oh, okay, it has nothing to do with the movie.
Right.
Just the characters.
Tyler?
Yes, Dave.
If you were to give this game a beard, sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would you give it?
I would give it the halfway molted beard of a crab skin who is halfway coming out of their old shell into their new shell.
Okay.
Because this game is about halfway done.
Yeah.
Data chum?
Data
That a
check?
chick?
Sounds Hawaiian, doesn't it? Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, that sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it the glasses that you're wearing that get steamed up when you pull a pie out of the oven too early and it's only half baked.
Good glasses.
Yep. I wish that this game had been like finished and polished. I really think this would have been a strangely good game, and I would have loved to have seen like an excellent game that's like Blues Brothers. You know what I mean? Where it's like, why Blues Brothers? It doesn't make sense.
Because then it'd be like, y'all, you need to play this game.
You need to play Blues
This is a
Brothers.
sleeper.
This is an acid trip that John Belushi was on.
Someday, man, they're going to have video games in your house, man. Think about it.
So maybe a better version of this video game would have been a meta game where it's like you are playing as Dan Aykroyd while filming the Blues Brothers, and you're just trying to wake up John Belushi at different houses. Mash B.
You have to battle. You have to battle your way through the house, and then the boss fight is wake up John Belushi. And when you wake him up, he goes and runs. It cartwheels away.
Definitely cartwheels.
And then you got to go to the next house. I think you're onto something.
I was thinking it was like a WarioWare minigame thing.
That would also be good. My thought was like even darker. This is what goes through John Belushi's mind in his last moments as the drug dealer is injecting the speedball into his arm.
The prisoner.
Yes, because I had to look up. Like, I wonder how he died. It was a drug dealer shooting him up.
Yeah.
With a too much of a speedball.
Oof.
That fucking sucks.
That does suck. But I would love to see Blues Brothers presents WarioWare. I would buy that $60 just
Full price, baby.
just to see. This is a Nintendo product? Okay. Are we done? Is that the show?
That's the
I
show.
think that's it.
Cool.
So thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, not SoundCloud, not Stitcher, but on Spotify, YouTube, all over the place. Got lots of stuff going on, but most importantly, there's that Patreon.
Yes, we have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/tadpog or pisstasters.com.
Taste the piss.
And you can donate money there if you want to help fund this little artisanal homespun podcast that we do every week. We do have a list of executive producers. These fine folks give us $20 or more per month, and we want to make sure that they get the credit that they are due. And so I'm going to read that list now. starting with Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Cthusiast Jeff Miners, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Louisville correspondent Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, Flavor Trick, Taryn Dahl, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Airplane Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Drinksmith Joey Webster, and Derek Pope Sandwich. Thank you so much for your generosity.
Yes.
Excuse me. Thank you to all of our donors. We realize the economy sucks, and it takes a lot and it means a lot that you are taking hard-earned money away from other things that you could be doing and giving it to us. It means a lot. It means we know you love us, and that is awesome. Thanks also to Dane, our backlog banisher, Mr. Puzzles, for putting the show on YouTube every week of his own volition and on his own time. It's super nice of you to do that for us. And I would like to extend a very special thanks to Brad from Arizona.
Oh, right, yes.
Who sends us emails now weekly to give us facts and little Game Pro articles and stuff about the games that we're reviewing. And in this email this week, Brad had some very, very nice things to say specifically about me.
Yes.
And I would like to let you know, Brad, are you listening? Brad, I really appreciate what you said. I know I make jokes about things like this, and I'm not going to get into what it is, but it means a lot to me that you would take the time to make sure that I'm doing okay and that I feel better about my role on the show. But I'm just kidding. I love the show, and I know where I stand here. But it means a lot to me that you would say that, and I appreciate your kind words.
And
so
I'm really glad that you brought him up, because I meant to mention some of the things that he sent.
Yeah.
Because he sent like a mini review from Nintendo Power, and the best part about it is, honestly, in the mini review, game type, which is like the genre of game, is side-scrolling action based on the SNL characters.
Right.
Which, that's a famous genre. Sort by that on
we
Steam.
all know that genre.
And then in the actual like ratings section, they list it as a comic action game type, which again is fucking hilarious. Game Fan had some pretty good scores for this game, like a 79, 68, 80%, and 86%. So I was kind of surprised to see reviewers having good things to say about it.
Nintendo Power says, I can still remember when the Blues Brothers were a 3-minute skit on Saturday Night Live. Then they made it big and hit the silver screen. Now, years later, the two bad boys are back and better than ever in an awesome new action game by Titus. You can choose from Jake or Elwood, or get a friend and play simultaneously through 30-plus levels. In one-player mode, I found Elwood to be a bit easier to go through the game with because he moves faster and jumps higher, kind of like Luigi. That's not in the article. I added the Luigi part.
Crazy legs.
The gameplay reminded me of the Addams Family because of the challenging and creative levels and the nice colors and detailed backgrounds. One of the unique features of this game is that there are no bosses for you to go up against. During the entire game, your task is to simply make it to the jukebox.
Feature. Notice they said feature.
Feature. It's a feature, not a bug. It sounds easy, but trust me, it's not. There are obstacles everywhere and nasty enemies waiting to attack. This game is going to be hot. It is one of the best 2-player games for the Super NES, so keep a lookout for more Blues Brothers with my full review in an upcoming issue by Magilla. Nintendo Power reviewer. I think he got it pretty close.
I think
he was a little more excited about it than we were, but he was right.
I think that one was the Game Fan review.
Oh, was it Game Fan?
I think so. But it really doesn't matter. I just wanted to clarify. I don't want to get a weird.
Oh, I read it wrong.
Message.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I read it wrong. But either way, that's what they had to say about it.
And also, I feel like it's worth mentioning that maybe I was wondering, like, why were the scores that good? They feel high. it might have something to do with the game came out in 1993. I didn't mention that also. That's kind of early. That's like within the first 2 years of us having the Super Nintendo. So I feel
and
like
only 13 years after the movie came out.
it's fucking weird. So weird. And before Blues Brothers 2000, because I looked that up too, because I was like, did this game come out when it did because of Blues Brothers 2000? No, that movie came out after the game. So, all right. Whatever.
Graphics look great, but they won't remind anyone of SNL.
Ah, those good old SNL graphics.
You saying Luigi reminded me. I streamed twice this week. I got back to it.
Yeah.
Did a Final Fantasy
Saw
VI
that you were doing
randomizer.
that. That's awesome.
And then, but at the end, I had to do it twice. I couldn't finish it in one stream. So the other one was a little short. So I was like, well, what am I going to play? What does everybody want me to play? And Grim was like, Mario 2. It's like, okay, cool. Who do you want me to play as? Luigi. Fuck. So I played about 15 more minutes as Luigi. Had a terrible, terrible
I was
time.
about to say, didn't you have a
hate
terrible
Luigi.
time with Mario 2 the
Luigi.
first time you streamed it?
Once I switched to Toad, I mean, it was fine.
Yeah,
I
okay.
enjoyed it. I tried not playing as Peach, who I always played as Toad.
Peach is
had a
the
good
best.
time. But if I have to play as Luigi, I do not like it. I hate Luigi in that game. Holy shit! I played like 50 minutes. I was like, all right, now I'm done. Bye.
So anyway, thanks, Brad.
Yes, thank you.
Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Link to that track found on show notes at tadpog.com. How do you want to close it out?
I would imagine is the Blues Brothers.
Okay. So until next time.
A
Tropical
Capricorn.
Capricorn.
TADPOG is hosted and produced by Tyler Holland, Dave Moore, and Ian Chandler, and is available wherever fine podcasts are hosted. Have a question or comment for the hosts? Call us at 270-883-2555 and leave us a voicemail. We'll even play it on the show and respond eventually. Want to send us something? You can do that at Tadpog Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. Sick of us doing all the talking? You can join in on the conversation by visiting our Discord at bit.ly/tadpogdiscord or tastethepiss.com. Not many things are truly free these days, but our Discord is, and we'd love to see you there. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive, and a link to that track can be found at the show notes at tadpog.com. Thanks for listening, and if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our show on your favorite podcasting platform. We'd really appreciate it.
You doing treadmill still?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
2 miles a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It hasn't really helped much, but I do feel better. I mean, I'm getting exercise.
Yeah. It's
It's helping in the sense that I'm getting exercise.
Yeah.
The physical effect isn't really changing anything, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy, and I'm getting exercise.
That's nothing
My
to sneeze
watch
at,
is
man.
really happy.
Yeah.
My watch is like, what the fuck? You were a lazy shit for like 2 years, and now what? Every day with this walking.
I'm surprised my watch hasn't called the police this week for a wellness check. Because it's like,
Yeah.
This dude hasn't moved in a week.
I have sort
Now
of
entering life alert mode.
Yeah.
calling medical services.
Do you need medical assistance? No, I'm playing Final Fantasy.
Fallen.
It's vacation.
if you need assistance, please mash the keypad with your hand. You have selected Regicide.
Oh my god.
What is that?
Fingers
from?
you have
On The
used to
Simpsons.
dial are too fat.
Oh.
It's when Homer is trying to gain weight to get on disability.
Oh,
And he calls 911 and he's trying to press the button to select what what crime or what thing he's trying to report, emergency, and it says, "You have selected regicide. If you know the name of the king or queen who has been assassinated." Fuck.
That's such a good
I
episode.
gotta get my shit together. Come on now. Come on now. We could use that for the stinger.
Were you recording any of that?
Yeah, all of
Awesome.
that. All of that.
We're on a mission from God.